Okay.
If you're a Browning high-power collector and you have, like, early first pattern whatever, please send me an email. That helps.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's see. Next question. How far back are you looking at going? Percussion era, flintlocks, etc. Yeah, we're not really restricting ourselves.
No, we're not. I'd happily do an episode on the handgun if I could get it all together.
Oh, that'd be cool. We did know a guy who had a bunch of those.
They make kits.
Yeah.
I just need the time to buy one and assemble it and then figure it all out. But, I mean, I'd be willing to go all the way back. I think it'd be fascinating.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
But generally, I like to stick with stuff that is... For me, it's easier to stick with stuff that's serial manufactured, so I don't have to get into too many... Here's the vague impression of a thing. There's stuff that is vague, like the handgun, where it's just like, look, they made handguns. They're all sorts of shapes and sizes. That's kind of easy. It's when you get into stuff that's sort of handmade with high variety for over a century.
Right.
But it's still of a type that you go, uh-oh. Because now I've got to sort of explain, well, they got this kind and they got that kind, and I don't know how many they made.
It's like going through all of the Martini models.
Yeah, there's some sort of like Flint era stuff that gets kind of weird.
Well, not Martini models, it's more of the... Shoot, what was that one that you made that meme about?
Oh, you're talking about Dutch carbines?
Yeah.
No, because that's easier too, because those were serial and known models. You just get into all sorts of like... Because people are like, well, mine's 3 inches longer than that one. What does that mean? You're like, I don't know. It means they cut it 3 inches shorter that year. I don't know. Like, there's some of that stuff that's not that well documented as much as you'd want it to be, like the later stuff is.
Fair. Next question. Does it feel harder to choose a firearm to do an episode on now that you are out of World War I and can pick anything? Or is it easier because you're not limited? It's easier?
It's definitely easier in the sense that I am not stuck with just pulling from a World War I pile.
Right. So you're not stuck with whatever's left.
Right. I am a little bit more challenged now because I don't have the excuse of just working from a limited list, so I do kind of have to do things in a little bit of order. And the case I keep making is no one has, still to this moment, no one has offered to loan me an SVT-38 in running condition.
Oh, yeah. SVT-38.
So, you say, hey, you can do whatever you want. You're like, I kind of can, but, I get my one shot at it, and then it's got to sit for at least a couple of years. And so...
You know when they're going to offer it? After you do the SVT-40.
Right. If I do an SVT-40 episode, I'll get a million offers for an SVT-38 too late. So I have an SVT-40 sitting in the corner of the room right now.
And it's been there for a very long time.
Yes. It's one of the few things I didn't sell off because I was like, I'll get around an episode on that. And then nobody will let me an SVT-38. And there was a time when I could have bought one for $1,200, but I didn't have $1,200. But now, good luck. So it's just one of those things where it's just like... a lot of people assume we have more access than we do. Most of the high-end stuff does not get offered on loan.
Museums do not offer things for shooting.
Right. A lot of people have offered me things that are very common or already accessible to me. So I've had tons of offers for Garens. I've had tons of offers for SVT-40s. I've had actually a couple offers for SVT-40 or for Gewehr 43s. The problem is the Gewehr 41. The one that at least leads to that one at the very least, if not the other one, But, so the problem is always getting the pre-version of something because most people don't own it, and the guys that do own it can be fairly precious. We don't always have to shoot it.
Right.
I don't necessarily have to shoot an SVT-38 in order to show you an SVT-38 and compare the differences, blah, blah, blah. But if I'm going to do something that is as popular and as cool and as interesting as the SVT-40 that everybody wants to see an episode on, then
I'd like to do it right.
I would better damn well have the stuff. You know what I mean? We did it with the Colt. We did the 1911. We went to town.
Oh, yeah. And LSB really hooked us up with a connection over there to let us handle, the 1909. That was
We drove across the country with the 1911.
Yeah.
So,
drove to California. And
doing it right is sort of the C&Rsenal motto.
We will drive across the country. Not all the time, but sometimes.
Oh, my God. Everybody's like, why aren't you in Tulsa? I'm going, because I'm so tired.
Oh, yeah, that was happening. Oh, crap, I lost my... There we go. Can you give us your mailing address again? And the way you wanted it written for those who want to contact you.
It is always at C&Rsenal.com/contact.
Yep, it is right there at the bottom of the website.
It's a P.O. box, and I could say it, but I don't remember it right now.
Off the top of your head. Just make sure you put the box number.
No, but you got to put the box number, and you just I know everybody wants to be cute.
Just put C&Rsenal.
Just write C&Rsenal.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this on the podcast for the patrons, but we were getting other people's mail in that P.O. box for a long time. And yet, if you wrote, if you misspelled...
That was the USPS, not the UPS.
Yeah, but it's the same idea because...
UPS was sending it back because they didn't have the C&Rsenal name on it.
Right. So people were putting, and they're real jerks about how many names you can put on that thing. And so people were misspelling Othias or whatever.
Yeah, to be
Just write C&Rsenal.
That's how you get stuff sent back to you, man.
C&Rsenal, and they're such jerks. And the worst part is we're stuck with them because the other P.O. box, they were literally, the Postal Service was stealing from it.
Yeah, Postmaster did jack all for that.
They didn't even respond to my email.
Nope.
Anyway.
Let's see here. If you could redo the World War I primers with any gun available whenever you wanted, in working order with reliable ammo and other such impossibilities to make this conceit work, how would you decide to order the episodes?
Pattern of development.
Yes, that would have been
That was the
most
vision for the
optimal.
shotgun episodes.
It was.
Which we're kind of going to do.
Yeah.
We invested a lot in the shotguns thinking we were going to be able to branch that series off, and then that was an investment that was made because our funding was trending like this. Mm-hmm. And of course, the minute we made that investment, it just went pip. Like, not even flat, just a little down.
Yeah.
And so we definitely never got to hire help, and we don't have the time, so we're going to have to turn those into primers so that we can at least get through the shotguns. And
Right. And
I need to
put some
get rid
effort
of
into
some
them.
because the hope was to get them all here so that we could do them in chronological order as a batch.
Yeah.
Because trying to get everybody to loan us stuff at the same time for a long period of time, so we got the filming done, was really impossible to even consider.
Right.
So we said, well, these old shotguns are actually fairly inexpensive. We'll treat this as a business investment. We'll make the episodes and then we'll liquidate them, right? So then it crashed. So right now we're actually
Sitting
working
on a bunch of cheap shotguns.
We're working on the Spencer episode because that's sort of the earliest we can get to. There are some repeaters that predate that are so rare we're not going to get to touch.
A Winchester 1887 really hard with my hand by accident.
Yeah, we have fired the 87.
That is still somewhat healing.
And then
Just as an FYI.
I have most of what I need to get through a shotgun series very effectively. And so what you're going to see is you're going to see some primers on shotguns that are just going to go through their whole lineage as a big parcel.
But to get back to the question, in linear order for years, that would have been...
Developmental, well, not even years, developmentally would help.
Developmental order, yes.
Because you have some weird skipping. So, like, the Serbian 1899 is a derivative of the 1893, not the 1898. Mm-hmm. So that could have been strung together better.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the kind of thing I would do.
Yeah, definitely. We're still good. If you had the access and could only pick one rifle and only one handgun to do an in-depth primer documentary about, what would they be?
I think this is the magic find the rifle, which we talked
No,
about
it's
earlier.
like if you could pick only one.
If you had the access and could only pick one rifle and one handgun.
Yeah, okay. So does it mean anything? Just one?
He's saying, is there any, I assume this implies that we know it exists. So in other words, I can't name the Hell Regal because we don't know of one in existence. Mm-hmm. I would have to be able to point at it and be like, that one, give it here.
Right.
There is a Fedorov out there. Mm-hmm. It's overseas at the moment. There's several overseas. There is theoretically one in the U.S., but nobody knows where it's gone.
Right.
I would definitely pick the Fedorov for the rifle.
Fair.
Because that is one everybody wants to see and everybody wants us to cover. Mm-hmm. We just don't have one.
What pistol then? Thinking about it hard? Not sure.
I know which one would be the most popular, so I guess I should probably name it because everybody would tune in like crap.
Okay.
Mars.
Mars would be good, yeah.
Yeah. The Mars is one that people want to know more about desperately. And if we had one in hand, we could work with it. That would be a good one.
Okay.
I'm struggling to think of another one.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's probably something I'm missing, but that's a pretty good
Yeah, it's pretty
answer.
solid. Now that we're out of World War I, will there be any appreciation for later model Mosin Guns anytime soon? Like
Yeah, sure.
9130, 39? Yeah, definitely. At some point.
I got to figure out I know one of the boys has to own an M44 in town.
I think one of them does. I vaguely remember that being a conversation topic.
To be perfectly transparent, I have a Spanish Civil War 9130 somewhere around here, which is what I would really want to use for the 9130 episode.
Right.
I know it seems weird, but it's like a time capsule.
Sure.
And the Finnish side of things, I have plenty of offers for loans there. I just got to unpack what order to do them in. And I have the books for it. It's just about spending time with it. But yeah, the Mosins will be back. There'll be a whole Finnish series that'll be... As a matter of fact, that's going to be sooner rather than later because I would like to cover more of the sort of World War I-ish, World War II firearms first. So that way when we start doing semi-autos and stuff like that, people really can appreciate how they were different from what else was going on.
Sure.
I just don't want to get so stuck in doing World War II stuff that everybody assumes we're a World War II channel, which is why I want to start splitting
we're not that.
the episodes.
Next question. Will the Clay Trap series be continued in the future?
I don't know. Kevin, will it? Kevin. So
everybody find Kevin at Mouse Pond.
Yeah, you can literally go to Moss Pond.
You can literally go to Moss Pond and walk up to Kevin and say,
south of Atlanta.
When's the Clay Trap series
and you can walk in there, and he's the biggest dude in there. Yeah. You'll find him easy.
Biggest, blondest man in there.
He's always there. He's never not at work.
Yeah, that's true.
And they just go in there.
He lives there.
You know what?
He lives upstairs.
He's stuck there. Practically. But he's stuck there, so that's why he can't film with us. Yeah. So you know where to find him to tell him, hey, Kevin.
Tell him.
Go film the other Hand Trap series.
Yeah.
You lazy bastard.
You call him to say exactly that. Yeah. Exactly that sentence.
I'll let you... Kevin, if you would like to come film the stupid Hand Trap series... Like, I'll cover your travel, I'll cover your expenses, I'll cover your days off of work, I'll do it all. Everybody wants the series. And you know what? We'll take a loss on it because nobody watches it, but they all love it. And then, you have no excuse, Kevin. And then, since we have the land now, we can go there. I'll let you ride the tractor. You can ride the tractor and stay in the creepy hut.
The murder shack.
Yeah, the murder shack.
A previous owner called it the sugar shack because he had some relatives staying there for a few years.
And they apparently were sugaring?
Yeah. But I was just like, I'm going to call it the murder shack because that looks like a murder happened in there.
It looks like a murder shack. But yeah, it's all down to Kevin's accessibility.
Yeah.
Every time Kevin leaves town, everyone freaks out. Apparently the entire town needs Kevin to be there.
Yeah, when he leaves his hometown to come see
I've seen it. His cell phone does not stop ringing.
No, yeah, he had to turn it off at one point.
5 minutes. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
The entire town has separation anxiety when Kevin leaves.
It's true. It's like they're all Bernie's mountain dogs.
It's like the one pack animal holding it together.
You okay?
Yeah. I'm sitting up. My tailbone hurts.
Oh, I'm sorry. Have a better butt. Hank. Well,
we did film a season 2.
We did, and then we can't use it.
But Kevin literally had COVID.
Kevin had COVID, A, and then B, the first 5 episodes got scrapped because the phone kept overheating because it was so damn hot.
Yeah, but it was causing corrupted pixels and stuff, and then
we literally could not pull the footage.
You said you went looking for footage that was usable, and apparently I just described a Pekingese dying at one point.
Yes.
Or not the dying, but like I described having had a Pekingese and it died, and Kevin just sort of went, oh. And you'd be like, this is not entertaining.
I went, oh, that was really not great. I didn't realize it at the time, but when I viewed the footage, it was really sad.
He's sick. We're heat stroked. None of the equipment's working. We'd really like to film season 2 and take clips from the aborted season 2.
Yeah.
And use them as like enders.
Just like not reacting to a Pekingese death story. And you went, bro, I just told you about a Pekingese dying. And he was just like, what? Anyway.
It's like, I want to put it at the end of other episodes, but we really need them to actually be real episodes before we do that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Funny. Okay, next question. Will C&Rsenal ever be on Rumble? You tried it, apparently.
Did I?
You said you tried it, you uploaded a bunch of videos at once, and then Rumble
that's a different service. That's different.
Okay.
No, Rumble wouldn't strip us.
Okay.
I know for one thing that, like, the minute we're done filming this, I'm going to go sign up for a Rumble account if I don't already have one, so nobody else snatches it.
Okay.
But, no. Like, the problem is we're uploading to so many places. Like, we're already on Player, which has the monetization stuff that we need. I have no idea how locals...
What's the benefit for uploading to Rumble?
They have their backbone by locals, which was something that got bought up and integrated. And I'm not really...
What the hell is locals?
Exactly. I'm not sure how it integrates. I'm not sure how it works. I'd have to go look into it.
Is it not a video platform?
I don't know. The point being is, I would do all that. And I will spend probably 18 hours getting it all sorted and branded and having locals set up just right and getting the payment stuff set up and all.
Locals is.
Anyway, I'll get it all set up, right? And then 7 of you will show up. And it will do is further confuse our accounting. We'll have to have another form every year. Like, it has to have a certain yield for it to be really worth doing. And I don't perceive that yield there. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm missing an opportunity there. But I just don't perceive the yield for all the headache at this point.
That's fair.
Especially because we're on like our 3rd alt media platform that we've tried.
Yeah, no. When can I expect a Gatling gun primer episode? There was like 3 people who asked this question.
Whenever somebody loans us a Gatling gun,
send us your Gatling gun. Send it.
If you have, by the way, not a reproduction, an actual Gatling gun.
Send it.
You loan it to us, we'll do the primer.
Could they drive it here?
Yeah, throw it on a trailer. Let's go. I mean, I'll go to you. If you have a Gatling gun and we can do a proper episode, it's a real Gatling gun. Yeah, we can just do it. As a matter of fact, now that I've opened my stupid mouth, I know who collects Gatling.
Did you just remember somebody that collects
Yes,
them?
I literally went to a Gatling gun collection, but I only briefly met the owner because we were doing something else at the time.
Wait, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yes, I don't want to give anything away because I think it's private.
How did we forget about that?
I think it's a secret Gatling gun collection.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he fires them, but I'll have to go ask.
That was gone from my memory. Like, that whole day, well, like, that portion of that day, just gone. I forgot.
Yep, this is my life. I just remembered.
Well, that's interesting.
The problem is I have to travel and get him to agree.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him possibly agreeing. Let's take a pause for the cameras. Okay. That was shocking.
So what happened there is we piggybacked with somebody else's thingy.
Yeah.
And the guy who owns the Gatlings didn't know us at the time. Right. I have no idea if he knows us now.
Might.
But the problem is, if it's just like hey, I know this guy, he's cool, that almost never works out.
No.
They have to already watch and like the show.
Right. Let's see here. Are you guys planning on extending the Repercussion series to reproduction military long arms as well, i.e. the Sharps rifle, Springfield rifled musket, Trapdoor, etc.?
Wait, do they do reproduction as trapdoors?
I don't know that.
I guess they probably do, but why? You can get trapdoors.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, sure.
At some point, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's possible.
The only problem is the long arms that they actually make reproductions on are not the most popular. Mm-hmm. And usually you can find originals on the long arms better than you can find... Well, you can usually find shootable originals better than you can find reproduction of the revolvers that people will let you shoot, because the revolvers are frankly usually in bad shape.
Right.
So, well, the Colts. It's weird. It's weird how the Colts are usually too valuable and too bad a shape to really be shooting like that, but then all the other stuff's fine. Mm. Anyway.
I assumed you would go interwar, World War II, Cold War? No, we're not really going in order. This isn't a question.
You're just telling me what you assumed.
Yeah, we're not really going in order of anything. We're just kind of jumping around.
It's not a question. You're just telling me what you assumed. Unless, did you reword that?
No, I did not. I copy-pasted.
No, we're going wherever we want. Yeah. There's no rules.
We're free.
You have no idea what working from a fixed list is like. It magnifies the problems 100-fold.
Oh, yeah. Planning to do general episodes about Cold War era guns.
This doesn't have a question mark. Did you copy this?
No, I copy-pasted that again. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're planning to do that. Have fun.
No. It's probably are we planning to do.
We just did a Cold War gun. It was the SKS.
I might have copy-pasted that partially. I don't really remember. I'm pretty sure that was a
Either
question.
You guys are being weird or May is being weird, and we don't know which.
We do plan on doing Cold War era guns.
We did a Cold War era gun.
However, we're not doing it exclusively. Clearly.
Yeah, we're not doing the Cold War era and only that, as I am about to prove by the fact that we just released the Adams episode.
Yeah, and also we're going to do shotguns soon, so whatever.
I'm doing everything.
Yeah. Would you consider a dedicated video on how to shoot old guns to keep them and yourself safe, based on your extensive safety measures, weighing each round, etc.?
No.
Okay.
I want to.
YouTube won't like it.
It's not that YouTube won't like it. It's that we're too big. Mm-hmm. So the problem is we put on, like, if I were just some guy, if you're some guy and you want me to go through the whole list with you and you want to go do your YouTube video on it, go nuts. I have this fear, mostly because we've gotten large enough and I have said enough here to be held accountable as an expert. You know, if you're some guy and you're saying something, you can go to court and be like, I'm some guy and I was saying something.
Yeah.
I've represented myself as a firearms expert I don't call myself a firearms expert, but I've represented myself as if I am one. I'm very concerned that I'm going to sit there and be like, all right, here's what you do to shoot an old gun safely. And then I'm going to list everything out. And then there's going to be something I didn't think of that some Yahoo figures out to do. And then it, like, throws an extra layer of paper patch on there or something. I don't know. And then manages to blow himself up. And then I'm going to get sued. And
because the world is that way now.
I'm not even saying that I'm going to lose in court. I just think it might actually be able to get into a dang court. Just on the topic alone.
Right.
And I know that's cowardly in some ways, but I really just want to keep making the show. And I'm so tired. Specifically, I'm tired now.
Of everything fight. Well, we're tired now because it's 2 a.m. We started originally filming today at 4 p.m. Because we're not only just doing this, but we also did other comment sections. So it's been a long
But if you would like some quick advice on how to shoot old rifles, just advice that is not complete at all, and I've just said out loud the thing, let us focus on a couple of things. You should understand the weight and diameter of the bullet you are seeking and get as close as you humanly possibly can. And with good judgment and understanding that I cannot express through the screen and therefore cannot be held accountable for, you should be able to have, using other means to develop an understanding of how fast certain powders might make something go, be able to get into the ballpark negative of that muzzle velocity, and then walk it up to a safe degree. In addition, any and all firing under a different load should be undertaken with a rested position and a, let's say, string fire, a remote detonation device, right? So that you are not with the gun. Then, once you have things running well, I actually quite recommend and do for myself, once I have a load that seems to be safe and everything's gone well on that front, which is not everything that you could possibly do to make it go safe. Because there's also inspecting, making sure there's no damage to the chamber, making sure you don't have unsupported case head, making sure the locking lugs, no cracks. But one trick I like to do is that when I am string firing, I like to take a small cloth that is clean, usually white, and put it over the action. So that when I string fire, it's not just, did it blow up or not, Dale? It's that I can see if there's any gas venting into the cloth. Like in our Vetterly episode, you can clearly see there's gas venting.
Oh, yeah.
So that's
I mean, even with one of the Arisakas we shot back in the day, one of
it
the
was gas venting like crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, like a fountain.
Yeah. I'm not even sure if that was gas or just old oil that was in there that got pressed out.
Oil,
but
yeah.
The point being is put a cloth over the whole action and fire it. And then flip over the cloth and then you see if there's any powder or residue. Yeah. And you'll be surprised sometimes.
Gahendra's tightly sealed.
Yeah, the Gahendras are interesting. I swore I thought we'd have some gas leak on the Gahendras. We had none
tight
when we test fired those. Although test firing the Gahendras was a nightmare because they have you have to pull up on the trigger. So we had to like clamp, like strap, like locking ratchet strap down that gun. And then get above and behind it and like anchor the back with a clamp and pull that string with, I don't know, 30 something pounds of, it's an insane amount of pressure.
It was a very heavy trigger.
That was the worst gun to clamp fire ever.
Yeah.
But those are some general tips, which, by the way, I know it seems excessive. I understand. Literally last weekend, our buddy Doc went out to the property by himself. That's the other thing. Never test fire by yourself. Ever. Doc. He got a hold of
He watches these. I know, so he's going to see this later.
He got a hold.
He's going to see this in like 6 weeks.
Of like, was it high standard?
So I don't know.
It was a high standard pump action 20 gauge of some sort. And he goes out and he's just like, I'm just patterning it, because I just bought it used. It's from the 50s, And he loads up his 20 gauge. The shell is fine. The gun seems to be fine. And then, boom, and it rocks his world. The forend splits forward, separates. The bolt jams to the rear so bad you can't move it forward. And the shell itself is burst and the casing is like all over the place, right? And he goes, ooh, that was bad. What the heck happened? And so I'm looking at it after the fact with him, and my theory is that it had an out-of-battery detonation. Now, whether it somehow managed to detonate on feed, or if it somehow managed to fire while out of battery, or who knows what, or because it's so jammed up and I haven't had a chance to take it apart yet, somebody could have removed the locking block from the gun. You don't know. And he's like, yeah, but it's high standard for the 50s. Who would have thought? And I was like, it was a new gun to you. All of them go on the bench. All of them. If you haven't shot it before, it goes on the bench. It's a stupid 20 gauge, dirt common shotgun. Should have been no problem.
And then you shot something else after that.
And I understand everybody's just like, well, I'm not going to do that for my 7mm rounds. Like, okay, fine. Well, then hope to God it's still in 7mm, and hope to God that nobody filed on it, and because this perfectly normal shotgun that shouldn't do that just did that last week to a friend of mine. You know what I mean? And he's not a stupid man, and I guarantee you he's done something like that 1,000 times in his lifetime and never had a problem until the one.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Until the one.
And then he put that gun down and he immediately test fired a 12 gauge by himself in the woods without anybody around that he didn't know.
He was testing the gods that day.
If the second one got you, it was your fault at that point.
Okay, next question. When do you think we'll see the Bergman M15 episode?
MG15. When I get one, I haven't even photographed one.
No,
is there one in the collection somewhere?
Galley.
Where is it?
Can we have that?
Yeah.
Give me.
Tell me where there's one, please.
Give. Would you consider doing a mini-series specials on milsurp topics like the low number 1903 Springfield or biographies of people like Sam Cole?
We covered this.
Talked about that.
We had a B team, yeah.
It just a little too much time for what's in the cards.
Do you get to ask
currently.
2 questions or the 2 people with the same name?
There are people with the same name sometimes.
The same username?
No, not same username. I did first names on this, unless they were a full name like Black Powder Burner down there.
Okay. Wow, one guy gets a name mentioned there.
The next one. I said Galley earlier. Will the Hanyang 88 get its own episode?
Yes, eventually I'd like to. Yeah. I'd actually like to pair it with the, 8835? The Ottoman? I think it'd be nice to do an episode on updated 88s, because I don't know that I could get an entire episode out of the Hanyang, and I don't think I could get an entire episode. I know I can't get an entire episode out of just the Ottoman conversion, or Turkish at that point. So I would like to kind of put those together and be like, hey, look, updated 88s.
What major changes, if any, have you seen in the firearms history collector sphere since starting this project?
Price goes like this.
Yeah, but that's
me. I did it.
Yeah, only
I
you.
did it. Me.
Only
I'm a very
you.
famous man, and I did it.
You're a famous man that
Yes,
did that.
my plan was to make no money while making everything more money, so that I can't afford the things I like, and I did it well.
You did a good job.
Yeah,
the plan worked. Your evil plan worked.
Yeah, my evil plan to make more money.
With your little dog too.
Oh my god! But actually, yes, the price is skyrocketing. They're leveling out now.
Yeah.
I have noticed it's starting to cool because people are poor again, so that's good.
All right.
The problem is I get blamed for the. Okay, you know what? Small rant.
Okay.
I get blamed for the milsurp market skyrocketing.
Okay.
Can I just point out what coincided with the milsurp marketing skyrocketing for all you friggin' idiots out there? The land prices skyrocketed. All physical goods skyrocketed because money became worth less than it was before because they kept shitting it out.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to get overtly political, but if you just invent money, like hyperinflation is a thing that we just know. You print money, you get it. You know what I mean? So real goods that have real values are skyrocketing. Wow, go figure. Go figure. The price of gold is up, the price of guns is up, the price of land is up. Way more in higher percentages than I could ever have any effect on. I wish I was as effective as the totality of printing money in our economy. God, I wish I was that influential of a man.
Good job. What major... Sorry, I just talked that. Would there be any interest in doing a civilian side to the primer series, i.e. original Winchester 70s, British South American hunting rifles?
You guys are lucky these episodes are so long because it keeps these old bastards from bidding on online auctions because they listen to this and they fall asleep and they forget to bid and I saved you money. How about that? What was this question again?
You're on a rant. You've got rant energy right now.
We hit 2 a.m.
What were you looking at just now?
Looking to see if it was recording still.
Okay.
We had that mistake
I got scared
earlier.
there was a ghost. What were you got rant energy for this question.
Go. What's the next question?
Down. Did you answer that one entirely? Are you
It's a
happy with
touchscreen.
that?
Now you really messed it up.
Screen. I'm scared. You answered that question?
Which one? No. What was it? Stop moving.
Would there be any interest in doing a civilian side of the primer series?
I think we kind of talked about this.
We kind of did. In that we were like...
Wait, he needs the Winchester 70. Are you guys colluding?
No,
Do you know each other?
No, they probably don't.
They know each other.
But anyway, it's just not a lot of details.
Well, the shotguns.
So there'll be smaller episodes.
The problem is it's got to be... Okay, so on the commercial side, it's got to be mass-produced, and it's got to be a family. Or else it doesn't really work. So, he's saying like South African hunting guns. Hunting rifles. No. Nothing boutique. We're not doing commercial boutique. That's nuts. Mass production commercial, maybe. Does that help?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Are you planning on writing any firearms reference books?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. It's time. The problem is I'm writing firearms reference books every 2 weeks.
Yeah. Mini books.
It's awful, but you take any 4 episodes of primer and I practically could have written a mediocre book.
Well, the episodes they vary. I mean, they are spaced weird, so they're probably closer to like 20, 30 page documents.
Look, my connections are good. My ability to pull material is great. Like I could slam a book down. I need the time to slam a book down, and I would need the front money to slam the book down because I'm going to have to run around gathering everything for the book.
Right.
And the one that everybody wants me to do right now is the revolver one, and that's a lot.
Yeah.
To do an actual comprehensive martial military revolver book would be very difficult because there's a lot of examples I haven't even been able to lay my hands on myself or even photograph. Mm-hmm. And then even if you go with the big boys alone and just ignore the little countries, you can't really get away with it because the evolution actually goes through the little countries before it gets to the big boys. Mm-hmm. And then once you include some little countries, you include all the little countries.
Yep.
And it's a mess. Everything's related, and it's all about setting expectations and meeting them. Mm-hmm. So if I do a book on the evolution of the revolver, it's actually going to be less interesting than you think. And it's still going to require me to get some very rare European pieces in that are commercial versions that later get copied to the military versions.
Yep.
Or I'm going to have to fly to Europe and find them to take pictures of them, but nobody can. These things are so poorly tracked that I can't even find anybody that tells me that they have one in their museum collection or not, because they're usually military revolvers in the museum collection. And then there's private ones that are available for sale, but they're for sale, so that guy's probably not going to own it in a week. Mm-hmm. So you see my point.
Right. We'll do one more question. We'll take a pause. I was wondering if you both have ever considered doing a primer on the Noriko Type 81 and Type 97.
They're a bit too new for what we do. Also, I don't have access to those.
Yeah, in general. I don't think anyone in the group has any either.
Yeah, because it's essentially he's asking about like QBZs, and it's just like, does anybody have an actual like fully operational QBZ that I can borrow? And even if I did, then I have to go do the Daewoo and the boo ba 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 ba. I got to do everything, and I'm not ready to open that door. I mean, we made one Cold War rifle, and everybody's freaking out that we didn't do all of World War II yet.
Right.
If I do one sort of post Cold War, then that's going to become a whole freak out too. Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, that's all still current service. So people are they're going to be way more defensive about the material that we're discussing. It's going to fall into much more opinion than it's going to fall into fact. And the service lives are still active. So I can't really, how do I wrap it up? I kind of need the service life to be over for me to wrap up the service life of the gun.
Right.
If that makes sense.
I guess let's take a pause for the cameras and I'll walk the dogs.
Okay. How many of those have you had?
It's number 3.
That's not good. You're going to die.
5 give me palpitations. 3 do not. Anyway, although I think ounce-wise that, I don't know. Anyway, next question. Is there a timeline or something missing in doing the workup on the Trapdoor rifles?
Wait, a timeline or something missing?
Yeah, is there a timeline that they should expect it, or is there something missing prior to the Trapdoor that you would need to do before you did the Trapdoor? I think is the question they're asking.
No, we can just do the Trapdoor. I know somebody that I believe has a complete collection. I think he told me he did. But it's not here. It's many hours away. Mm-hmm. So I would need to go get them and bring them back or something. Yeah. With that many, it's better to just go pick them up and bring them back. But it's possible. I just got to make the ammo and do the research and blah, 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 blah.
Oh, we're on page 12 of 15. We're making it, guys. And it's only $2.39.
Trapdoor is doable. Anything U.S. is usually pretty doable.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Besides the Fedorov, are there any small arms that you've wanted to cover that you have not been able to find?
Yes.
Several. Many.
Yeah, quite a few.
A lot.
We haven't found a full running Santetien 1907. Mm-hmm. Pateau would be great before that. That'd be great.
Yes.
We got a Villa-Pros to shoot, but then we never managed to borrow one to work with.
That we probably have to go up to
Springfield
for that.
There's one closer down in Florida, but I don't think they're going to let us in. And then
that one's a bit coveted.
My brain. There's a bunch. There's a bunch of little machine guns. I mean, somebody asked about the Bergman 15. We don't have access to one.
Right.
There's a bunch that I still would like to even just photograph, for God's sake.
Oh, yeah. That'd be great.
I mean, I can't even do like a World War I everything photograph book because I haven't photographed everything from World War I.
Right. Next question. The time has come around for another big funding push, but this time T-shirts won't cut it. Oh, this is a theoretical one. Which of the following do you think would get people to fund the show for another year? A, Othais and May themed 1/6 scale models complete with your favorite firearms accessories. B, the merch you've already sold before but in baby sizes or pet attire. Or C, an 18-month sexy pinup calendar of your favorite guns wearing bikinis and lingerie. Do they make 18-month calendars?
I don't know, but the guns wearing bikinis? That's kind of funny.
Oh, that would be funny. They do a
striptease. Bikini calendar.
You do a striptease.
To be fair, I don't... All right, so A, I legitimately have tried looking into injection molding for the firearms themselves. Mm-hmm. I thought it would be fun to do little scale models, but I mean like little, so that you could have like a little rifle rack and put all your little rifles on it. I thought that'd be fun. Because sometimes it's hard. I mean, this takes up a lot of space. It could be fun to have a sort of virtualized rifle collection, but not actually virtual. It would just be like a desktop rifle collection. I would love to have something like that.
The details involved with the injection mold, though, they can get kind of pricey if they're...
Yeah, but think about it. If we did a little rifle collection of all the rifles we've covered, plus all the other ones we can think of for the Great War, you know, and then we sold that as a big kit, or in segments by country or something, then you could like buy them all, and then you could have like a little rack of them, and then if you ever found one and owned it, you just move it to the other rack.
Oh.
But
probably A.
Yeah, I guess A is probably the most likely to be good.
I like the take on C where it's the actual guns are the sexy ones, so they're stripped.
I just don't think people
like
really use calendars that much. They like them for the photos, I guess, but I like to sell things that have some utility to me. I wear the crap out of our t-shirts. I wear the crap out of our patches. Actually, I actually liked our patches. They didn't sell as well as I hoped. I really genuinely loved our patches. I love the Pedersen patch, the bright colors. I love our little USA Springfield patch. There's so many like designs that came out really well. But
I just thought of a baby t-shirt design to go with one of our old designs. Old guns for the dad, new guns for the baby.
What?
Dad would have the old gun shirt, and then the baby would have the new gun shirt.
Does he like new guns?
Well, no, because he's new. He's fresh. He's baby fresh. So that's the best I could come up with for t-shirt designs that we've already sold before, but they come in baby sizes instead.
Yeah, I guess.
It's the only play I could come up with.
I really, that was one of the ideas of all time.
Okay. I'm going to keep going. With the expansion of Primer being gradually going forwards in time, do you have any plans to cover other submachine guns, such as the Thompson, Sten, MP40, PPSH?
Yes.
Actually, MP40, or Jeff 2 has one, a perfectly good example that we have shot before that he wants us to use.
Does he still have it?
He still has it. He said we can use it whenever.
Okay, well, let's go.
Do we go to Jeff 2 for that? We just saw him.
I might actually have a local option on those too, believe it or not. Especially the PPSH. I might have that covered. Although the ammo, oh my god, we'd have to get so much Tokarev made. Thompson's harder. I've been trying to get a hold... So the PPSH is iffy because I'd like to get it. It'd be really nice to do a Suomi beforehand. But there are kits and there's people that have like post samples and stuff. There's... The MP40 obviously has a precursor as well, so it'd be nice to have that, but not necessary. The Stens, thankfully, are all sort of Sten-like. So I'd like to get as many as I could, but you could get away with having a gap in the Stens. The Thompson's sort of the one I'd like to start with, though, because the Thompson is the most different submachine gun, and most people tend to think of it as like, oh, you had the Thompson, and then everybody else went, wow, that was so over-engineered, we could just do it this way. But in reality, you actually have the German MP18, which everything else is, all the other tube versions are descended from very linearly. Like, I mean, it's very apparent. And then you have this other submachine gun. And for a while, that's basically all you have. And it'd be really nice to do the Thompson, but I was trying to desperately get a hold of a 21 that we could work with, but I haven't done that yet.
That's fair.
I've only met one gentleman that had one, and he was being kind of careful with his my brain froze, cocking piece assembly or whatever, because there's like a breakage point I'm not aware of that's prone in there, and so I'm just going, oh, okay, and then never really got in touch with him again. He kind of wandered off, and I don't have he didn't answer the email. Yeah. So if I could get like a 21, I'd really like to do that, and then kick into the 28, and then the M1.
So if anyone has a Thompson collection, would we have to shoot the 21?
I would prefer to shoot it. Okay. Because I think it would make a difference, but we don't have to, I guess. Okay. It'd just be better.
I'd like to hear more about the rifles of James Perisley.
That's not a question, that's a statement.
He would.
I'd like to know more about them, too. We have someone that's willing to loan a good portion of like the Remington League collection and everything. But he's down in Texas and again, travel. Right. So having things shipped is easier. The other thing is I would like to do the Winchester Hotchkisses. Mm-hmm. Those are very pricey guns. I'm trying to think of what cartridges they're in. Yeah, I think they're standard. So...
And then we aren't just... It's not just a matter of travel, by the way, guys. Don't forget, we also usually have to borrow said pieces for a large amount of time.
And then they have to get returned the same way, which means we have to go back through.
Right, so it's not like we can necessarily organize a drive-through where we happen to be going somewhere a few states over and be able to just pick up everything along the way, because we then have to get them back within the time frame that people want them.
Yeah.
And there's been times where we borrowed things in the past where someone was like, oh yeah, keep it for like a year, it's fine. And then 2 months later was like, actually, I need it back right now. We would be like, what? Okay, we haven't done the episode on it, but we can get that sent back to you. Sure, no problem. Oh, well, you could just do the episode right now. And it's like, well, no, we can't, but sorry, we'll go ahead and send it back to you, of course.
Right. We have had that happen before. Yeah. People retract their offer right when we're in the middle of working with them. We're like, okay.
Yep.
So...
we have to be careful on that.
Yeah. What was I saying? I have thought about maybe, because there's big shows like Tulsa, I might try to... The problem is... It's the problem of being only one of me and not being able to think entirely ahead of time.
What does this have to do with James Pierce Lee?
Oh, I was going to say, I was thinking about how making arrangements to, like, at certain shows, pick up things, especially antiques that have no paperwork, you know? Being able to pick them up and be like, hey, I'll see you at the next Tulsa, you know? And then just make it sort of a drop and pick up point for some of that stuff. That might be the way to do that.
Would you consider doing an episode on a modern revolver explaining from what ancestry it came from? Example, the Colt Python current production.
We actually started to do that, and then it got more confusing than we thought, which is part of what happened with this whole breakdown of, like, wait a second, what is going on with these revolvers? Because we were trying to work on the Mueller book, and then we found out that that wasn't entirely accurate. So, you know, I was going to do one as a sort of like a short episode, and then it spiraled. And now it's like I'm willing to do it, and I can borrow a Python, but that's sort of the premise of explaining the evolution of revolvers as a whole anyway. So...
Right.
I probably will do it, but it's going to be just a short little, like, okay, this came from here, came from here, came from here. The problem is, for that to have any impact, it would be really nice to have the stepping stones. So, by example, I have found a Fonyu revolver, but I haven't found a Comblain revolver, you know? And there's some other names in there that I would like to be able to find originals of without necessarily exposing them to everybody, because there's not that many of them out there, and someone will beat me to the punch. But I'd like to sort of, while they're still obscure names, I'd like to put together a reference collection that's like, okay, this begets this, begets this, begets this. So that's going to take some time.
Yeah. Let's see, next question. Where did you get the cello intro and outro music?
That was the Moon and You. Well, it was half of the Moon and You, because it was... am
I allowed to say her name?
Yeah, they're public.
Okay, the Melissa side of that.
Yeah, Melissa. I don't know why I logged on the name for that.
Yeah, that's fine.
But Melissa plays the cello, and she did that for us.
Yep, we commissioned that a while back, actually.
Yeah.
We liked it. Let's see here. How long does it take to have a...
It's only that long. Everybody wants the whole song. That's it. It was designed to be an intro.
Oh, yeah.
We commissioned it as an intro.
Commissioned as intro for her on the cello, because she does some rad cello.
We stupidly didn't commission outro, and so we just slowed it down for the outro.
Yeah. How long does it take to have a gun filmed from start to finish once it's in hand?
I do not know.
It kind of varies.
It could be as little as 6 weeks. If I have ammo and the firearm and the research materials all
and
here.
And it's working.
Yeah, and it's working, which they never are. No. When that much goes right, that's what breaks.
Yeah.
If everything just runs and it's good and it's ready to go, I could probably get it done in 6 weeks. Depending.
Yeah.
It just never goes that smoothly, and things get in the way. Usually we have to do some sort of ammo development, which requires multiple back and forth trips, which doesn't sound bad if you think, oh, I'm just a guy that sits around, and then every day I can drive an hour out and try something and drive an hour back. So instead, it's like we go to work on some other episode, and the gun we're borrowing is actually going to be used 5 episodes from now, which is a long time. And we take it out to the range when we go to film the other stuff, and we test fire and go, okay, that was maybe okay, but we'll go back and develop the rest of the ammo. And then a month later, we go back out and we're firing some other guns that already got tested months before that.
Yep.
And so, yeah, stuff tends to be here for months because it's not an easy show to produce. And then sometimes we find stuff out while we're working with the firearm and go, ooh, we need to.
Oh, yeah.
And then also you have to have time for Brenna to animate it.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
And then you don't think about it. You think, oh, okay. So if Bruno is getting an animation out every 2 weeks, and that means it only takes 2 weeks for the animation to happen, and you're getting an episode out every 2 weeks, so it only takes 2 weeks for the research to happen.
No.
And you're getting a firing segment out every 2 weeks, so it only takes 2 weeks to
You
get a firing
magically
segment.
already had the books you needed and everything else, right?
But all those can't happen at once. So you can't have if I'm shooting the firearm and filming it indoors, that's several days out of the week right there that Bruno then doesn't have access to the firearm to animate it.
So
those can't happen concurrently.
You've seen these performers that do plate spinning?
Yeah.
So essentially you're always holding at least 2 plates, but you've got some holders in the back for a bunch of other plates.
Right, that you have to keep going.
And occasionally,
so you're holding these two, and then you have to spin
and just
those.
increase the speed on some of the plates. Some of the plates you actually take off and put on a different plate.
Mm-hmm.
So that does happen from time to time. So there's like a dozen plates.
Yeah. And the problem is I drop them all the time. It's really actually quite exhausting.
Let's see. Would you ever consider doing a segment on making the ammo you guys use? We did consider doing
YouTube
an ammo
would ban
series.
us instantly.
YouTube would ban us instantly.
Patreon probably wouldn't be happy about it.
Nope.
And then, again, a whole set of liabilities when somebody shoves it in a gun that isn't quite what it's supposed to be, and then we get...
Or the gun's not in the state that it should be in.
The handling stuff's great, though. There's guys that do that content. I have no idea how they're doing that because, I mean, bloke got nailed for having a Chaspo cartridge or something.
Yeah.
I'm going, what? So the problem is when you're small enough that if you get hit, your day job pays your bills, it's fine. If we get hit, we're going under.
Yeah, that's not good. We have a ship.
Yeah.
Let's do one more, then we'll take a pause. What are the chances of you releasing an episode about the M1895 Lee Navy rifle before this year is over?
Well, I mean, you saw it. Tenacious Trilobite was probably going to loan us his.
Yeah, he keeps threatening to loan it to us.
Yeah.
I mean, intentionally, he actually wants to loan us his because he himself has fired it and it has functioned
The only
well.
thing that's stalling me on borrowing his is that I really need to probably do the Remington Lees.
Yeah.
I think that's really the problem. Is like, I should probably do the Remington Lees.
And we just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yep. So that's really.
So we fully intend to borrow yours, sir. We're going to borrow them.
We're going up and down. I got this. I got so many things in the bag. The bag is full of stuff. The problem is there's always some other. It's the hole in the bucket, you know. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Eliza.
Yeah.
And then there's always some spiral. So I think I've got something figured out, and then I trip over the next thing, and I go, crap. What can I shove in this slot? So
let's take a pause for the cameras.
okay.
All right. As you've moved beyond World War I, are you not planning to focus too hard on any specific event at present? What time ranges are you considering? We've actually answered this previously in that we just plan on doing whatever
I mean,
we
all
want.
of them except for like current issue standard stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And there's still I know people are going, the 1917 is still in use of the seed protection vault or whatever. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. Oh, wow, you got it. Okay. Well, I'll just delete that episode then.
Yeah, sure. What guns of World War II do you look forward to making a show on? Are there any you dread?
Garen.
Yeah, that's both.
All the hype monsters, man. I hate the hype monsters because everybody gets mad at me for telling the truth.
Yeah.
And then it's weird because we said the 1911 is like the best handgun of World War I, and people are still mad at me.
Because you said disassembly is not the best.
Right, they're all foaming
It's not
at
the
the
most
mouth.
amazing.
Because I said, it's kind of shit for field strip. And then, it's the most amazing, you could use the magazine to do the thing, and it's okay, but a lot of the other handguns from that era did not have that many sub pieces to get lost in the mud.
But they still...
And also, many derivatives of the 1911 afterwards had captive recoil springs and other stuff to not have that much crap in the mud.
Now, we still said the 1911 was the best. They didn't negate it.
Yeah.
There's just one negative point for it.
There's also that guy that literally lost an eye. He literally lost an eye, guys. Actually lost an eye to the 1911. We have evidence that that his eye lost. And
Did he ever
it's
find
just like,
it?
well, captive recoil spring's not that important. It's like, that guy lost an eye.
You can't regrow it.
Yeah.
It's not like a fingernail. God. All right. If you could do another collaboration like Project Lightning, what would you base it on? Why and with who?
No. No.
No more collabs for
No.
any foreseeable future.
No, I'm done. I'm done with travel. I'm done with collabs. We're done. No more. Get out. Go away. Except for Tenacious Travel. He can come by. Bring your your Navy Lee.
Yeah. The collabs just don't really net us anything, and it's a lot of time and effort to move a lot of moving pieces around, and it's ultimately just not worth it for us, time and money wise.
Look, effort go like this. If effort go like this, you need profit to go like this.
At least.
And it always ends up here.
Yeah.
Every time we break formula, we suffer. I don't. It's so actually.
We have repeatedly.
I have finally given up on breaking formula, and I have decided to just improve the formula and see what that does. Because we've never sat down and truly done. We've done it little bits and pieces, and we've slowly gotten better, and we've slowly gotten more famed or more supported or whatever. Mm-hmm. But no, I have a plan to do a sort of reskinning and refocus on our formula to make us more like ourselves than we've ever been.
Mm-hmm. We'll be more like us.
And I have a suspicion that unlike chasing all this buzz, right, that never pays off for us,
yeah,
I think it's actually going to make profit go up. That is my sincere conviction, and I hope it works.
No matter what, sticking to the plan, it seems like that's just the course to hold.
Yeah, do it better, do it better, do it better.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to do it
Instead of just throwing more shit in the bucket.
Yeah, that's why we're up until 3 a.m. now.
Yeah.
Have you and May...
No, it says Mia.
And May considered doing a series on the post-World War I, pre-World War II arms development?
Yes.
Mia?
We're not doing a series, though. There's going to be no series.
No more series. It's all
the series is all the old guns.
Yeah.
There will be no sub-series.
No.
I mean, we have repercussion in the sense that we're telling you it's a reproduction because we figured we had to put it in the title or everybody would remind us every 5 seconds that that's a reproduction. Yeah. So... Is
there going to be a cutoff, either hard or vague, for the primer series? As in, is anything going to be too new to bother doing a primer episode on?
Yes, like that's I said, things that are kind of in contemporary service.
Current contemporary service. That's a good cutoff.
I mean, I'm willing to do the one-off funsy, like would I do one on a sub 2000 for the fun of it? Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
But that's more of a break than it is a sincere episode.
And also, that's more of your love letter to Taylor.
Yeah, it's true too. His spite letter.
Make him so mad.
No, he wouldn't. He didn't even care anymore.
He might like it.
He doesn't even care that I exist.
We've ever considered doing a blooper reel. We've actually done several.
We've done blooper reels.
So if you search in the Patreon or Player or I think Subscribe Search, it also had it too. Just search the specials.
That's Pollen. You went out to walk the dogs.
I did walk the dogs. That's Pollen. We did several outtake videos, so it's specifically labeled as outtakes, one word. Either 1, 2, 3. But just search that.
That's a whole thing on you arguing about gnomes.
Yeah, it's a whole argument about gnomes in there. So yeah, go look them up. Do you plan on covering anything larger than the Tiga Bear or any revolving rifles?
Is there a revolving rifle larger than the Tiga Bear?
No, I think he just means revolving rifles in general.
Oh, he's just mad about that little thing.
Oh yeah, thing's sticking up there. Or what was bigger than the Tiga Bear?
I mean, the boys.
Yeah, I guess so.
We'd cover the boys. We would do it.
Yeah.
Cause I think the one we shot has already been sold though. So
yeah, we didn't get footage on that one when we had it.
Yeah, whoops.
We're dumb.
Whoops.
It was more just a try.
There's other boys. We'll get to try them. No, I don't want one in 50. I want it in boys.
Yeah. Only OG.
Before that comes up, I don't want Tiga Bears in 50. I don't want boys rifles in 50.
Actually, really, we've been offered boys in 50s and had to turn it down because we want the original.
No, everybody wants to see 55. That's what they want to see.
Yeah.
I know it's easier to shoot that way, but that's not the thing.
That's not how we do. C&Rsenal doesn't do easy.
Yeah, no.
We do, oh my god, why?
Yeah, revolving, I mean, that is a revolving carbine.
Yeah, one day. Maybe.
I mean, maybe.
Not that one.
If you're a very skilled machinist, let me know.
There's a thing.
This, everybody's excited about that one, but, it's,
special.
Somebody very clearly tried rechambering it, I guess.
Very hard.
The rifling, the rifle and the barrel seem fine. All the chambers seem to have been drilled from one end, and some of them from the other end, and not lined up. So that thing, while beautiful,
and now takes very special rounds for each chamber.
Yeah, crooked rounds, each chamber, probably not safe and unlikely to get gas seal. I also ordered a number of one-off samples of what's supposed to be Mexican Piper carbine cartridges. They're all different. So that's not helping me either because I have a gun that I can't dimension to get the
You
card.
also borrowed a second one.
Yes, and then that was clearly a totally different chambering because it was a commercial cartridge, not the Mexican military one, which also now explains why there's multiple quote-unquote 8mm Piper carbine cartridges. But then none of it lines up for suredly yet. So I keep getting little winks of data, but essentially I've got to figure out a reliable example of one of these that I could cast, or I've got to get a hold of a reliable cartridge that I know for sure is correct. And then I would have to take this, have somebody make a custom jig, bore it out, and then sleeve each chamber to get it back to its original. So it's not likely to be anytime soon. It's just sitting there mocking us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Is there any gun tuber that you guys would like to do a collaboration with? We answered this before. Not currently at this time.
There's many that I love, and I would hug them.
Yeah.
I don't want to do any collab.
No. How about an episode on the Ivor Johnson?
Yes, I want to do that.
Oh, yeah, we do want to do that, actually.
That's actually...
That's what we talked about.
That episode has been in the works for 3 years. Yes. I keep not finding what I need. Like, there's stuff that's not expensive, but it's very rare, and I keep not finding it. Yep. And no, I'm not telling you what it is because you'll go buy it, but if you already have it, you already know, and you can send me an email. How about that? Are
y'all free to do eps on whatever y'all want, or is there going to be another theme?
No themes.
No themes.
No themes.
Whatever we want.
The theme is no.
What is your greatest professional C&Rsenal or previous success and failure? Our greatest success? Maybe getting out to California back and we got to handle the 1909. That was pretty successful.
Yeah, that whole trip, man, that was team effort. LSB did not let us down.
Yeah, LSB came through on that one because the guy that they originally had let them down and us as a result.
Also, just that was
they found somebody else in like a day or two with a better example. Holy crap.
That was a daisy chain of deadlines and we missed none and had no breakdowns. Like I'm
very happy. That was very successful. That could have gone wrong every day.
Probably the best BS we pulled off was being able to get up to Springfield very early in the show's history because Alex McKenzie is a gem. And we managed to spend several days gathering images that we still had. Like, we're still like the only ones that have those images for the most part. There's some stuff that I exclusively have images of because we had the sense to go up there and ask and take the time and do it. And that was above our pay grade. And they let us
crazy kids run through.
Failures are numerous and everywhere. Lots of firearms that we couldn't get the episodes together. Lots of attempts to get out and film something. Repeated attempts at cold potato diggers. Repeated attempts at the Shores Loza.
Lost the indoor filming area.
Oh yeah, very recently somebody pulled out of helping us do this mess, and now we're going to be on the hook for a lot more money.
Pretty good one.
Yeah, stuff like that. The problem is the failures is just like you can't let them stick.
You can't. You got to keep pushing.
Yeah, I will say, lucky me, you have like 2 eyelashes from rubbing your 3. You have so many wishes. Hold on. Let's get some. Hold on.
Is it from rubbing my eye? Ow.
It is. Yeah, there's one. Okay, that's one wish. Hold on. I guess we're just doing this now.
Yeah, I guess so. Now you've invested.
Well, sorry, but they're like right there. And you wish for something less. Did you get it?
I don't know. You got it?
Yeah. Thank you. So, the problem with I will say that we have never, I wouldn't say we've never broken something. We've never broken something that belonged to somebody else that was irreplaceable at all, like not even remotely. Yeah. There are some things that have shown up, either they've shown up broken or they had parts that were damaged that we became aware of while filming. Yep, there's stuff that we owned that has broken clearly because of the vet release. But when it comes to handling rare or fantastic things, I have been so meticulously careful when the value gets above like $1,000. Or the scarcity just gets too high. Yep. And we have never broken any of that stuff, and that makes me
find all the freaking wood in the damn household.
No, I'm not knocking on wood because I'm going in paranoid every time.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, but I've never had that heart-wrenching feeling of breaking somebody else's thing. Oh my god, like I definitely have gotten things in and had to tell people the bad news, But unless I'm missing something that somebody didn't tell me after the fact,
Yeah.
we have not broken anything anyways.
Could you do an episode on the, what the hell, Naro years? Did tranches and their handguns. What is that word?
The French word.
The Ziggolers?
Yeah, the Zigglers.
I'm pretty sure that was purely perfect French.
The Necco yours.
That was the most I'm going to ask our Frenchman if that was the best French.
This is the French trench raiders.
Okay.
No. We're not doing... if we were to do an episode on them, then we need to do an episode on like the 4th Infantry and the 3rd Cavalry and the 27th Jump Rope Division. Like, it's just... And we need to do... And I know that might sound a little bit too persnickety, but how about... Then I need to do a special on just light machine gunners and how they did their job and just whatever. And it's just... No, we're the in-depth one gun at a time channel.
Yeah.
And is that possible to do if we had the B team? Yes. But we don't have the B team.
Right.
So...
Will you make up a prize for the $20 tier so I can have excuse to upgrade?
You can put in any number you want.
That's true.
You can literally go in there and like punch out and delete and put in, and you'll just get credit for whatever tier you selected.
But we just don't have any... We'd have to take some time.
I'd have to do $20 worth of stuff for you every month. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what we could do for that, actually.
Mostly because I know I beat this drum, but I'm at the wire for time. I'm panicking that I'm just going to like die prematurely because I've overworked myself and I have no retirement plan. So like I can't add any more stuff, guys. I'm out. Like this is the end.
Don't say that. Are we going to see more repercussion or more coverage on the black powder weapons?
Yeah, we already said we're going to do a bunch of them.
We definitely plan on doing those. Why have you not been able to produce the shotgun series as you had originally intended?
We kind of covered this, but ran out of funding and then ran out of the potential chance to have somebody help us to film it all and get it done on a more even schedule.
Yeah, so they will be primers.
Also, I will say our shooting location changed. And
yes.
it added, when the shooting location changed, it added like an hour more travel back and forth. Because now it's an hour 20 out. Before it was like 45 out or something like that. And so you take that half hour and some change and you have to double it because you have to go there and come back.
Yeah.
And so it's another hour of travel every time, which made it really, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot to kind of get out back and forth to do the test filming for this. And right as that happened, the funding started falling down.
And on top of that, there wasn't grass. It took a while for the grass to grow for their range.
Yeah. So we kind of took our foot off the pedal, and then when we took our foot off the pedal for that side project, the market exploded because that's when the values went up on everything.
Yep.
And so now the last few pieces we would need to do those episodes proper. It was supposed to be a very visual storytelling thing. It was supposed to be less data, more visual.
Yes.
It was going to require some costume work. It was going to require a lot more camera work. We were very happy to do it, but we thought we were going to have...
And we done a little bit of test footage on it.
Right.
A little bit.
We thought we were going to have the room to do it, and then frankly we just completely out of time, completely out of funds for it. And then the yield on it is probably too low. I don't think we're going to get like a gajillion viewers on it. Mm-hmm. So instead, we're taking the shotgun material we have here now and converting it over to primer.
This is kind of going on to what we were talking about before, where we're going to stick with the formula.
Yeah.
The formula is...
We're going to maximize the current formula, and then if for some reason... Okay, if we maximize the current formula, and it goes from paying barely enough for us to make a living, and suddenly becomes enough for us to hire another person, then we can revisit what we can do to expand.
So you know what... Tell people to subscribe. Put us out there in front of more people.
I mean,
just even subscribing to the channel, that at least puts us in front of more eyes, because YouTube really doesn't want to recommend our channel because firearms. So recommend us as much as you can. Please get people to subscribe. It really does help the numbers. I know it sounds crazy and stupid, but even if just a portion of those people convert over to Patreon, or even just put us in front of more people, that really makes a difference.
It's very interesting, but we have more than enough margin in terms of people watching every episode to get up the numbers that we would need to hire 2 more people full time. And if I could do that, I would. I wouldn't take the money and be like, oh, finally I can go buy my better house or anything. I would actually expand the show, because I genuinely believe that if I could expand the show, then we would make even more money still. I think that's possible for us. And then after hiring 2 more people and expanding again, if I got lucky on that, then I would probably live in a house that's not a cracker box, and I would probably buy a car that's not 20 years old.
What?
And
they have weird screens in them now.
That's true too. But I mean,
buy one that's 30 years old. They're even cooler.
It would be nice to have the savings account.
Wagoneer.
But
Suzuki Samurai.
So Yeah, if we could expand, I'd love to do that stuff.
Let's take a pause for the cameras.
Okay. I want to point out, we're very literally tired at this moment, but we're also...
It's 3:11 in the morning. We started filming at 4.
For those of you who are not podcast people, who are not patrons, this year's been weird. So we C&Rsenal, I'm trying not to sound like a negative person, and I always come off that way because I'm very analytical about what I'm doing with myself, and I am very tired. But we had go back 18 months, and we had a very bad time. YouTube was suppressing us algorithmically. They had rolled out shorts, and they weren't working for us whenever we tried to put shorts into...
People were angry we did any.
They would get furious whenever we put one out, because at the time, YouTube hadn't separated out shorts and regular videos. And then because we didn't adopt shorts, YouTube got mad at us. And then now we put some out, and YouTube's a little less mad at us, but not really. Instead, we had to cover more interesting things to get sort of pop back up, and we slowly have gotten our audience
We actually finally just broke 500,000 subscribers in December.
Right. But we were suppressed so bad that we were at literally half viewership from what we were the year before, even though we were covering the same stuff. Yeah. And now we're clearly back up. Not all the way back, but we're back up again. But we're doing the same stuff. I don't understand, right? We also have some weird back-end stuff where if we have something like the SKS that was really popular, everything else goes down. So that over the past 48 hours, we'll have 150,000 views, and then we'll release a video that's like gets 1 million views, and we'll somehow still only have 150,000 views every 48 hours. I don't understand it. It drives me insane, but literally everything else will go down as the other thing goes up, so that it always stays at this sort of low-level number. I don't know why.
Right.
So I'm always trying to solve this problem, but it's like trying to catch a ghost with your hands. And so I'm going a little crazy trying to figure that out while also doing all the stuff I'm supposed to do.
Damn ghost.
While also dodging being censored because we're gun related, even though we're not political or anything else. It's just the whole thing. I'm just tired. But I do actually love what we're doing. I really appreciate you guys for being here supporting us, especially the guys that are asking these questions because they're the ones that are supporting us.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to keep making a show, and we're very determined. It's just that we also have had a bit of a roller coaster recently where we thought we had something sorted. We made some investments. Then it got flipped. My horse is now behind my cart, and I'm about to have to leverage a lot of time and debt to flip them back the other way. And it should work. But as a business owner, that's kind of scary. You know, you have to leverage debt, and you're kind of ass to front. And so I just got to get it flipped around, and then we'll be up and rolling. And I have a great idea, but I'm like 6 months into it, and it was supposed to be almost done, and now I just found out the whole thing got reset, and it's going to take somewhere between another 6 months and a year or something crazy like that. And it's just driving me insane. Yeah. So that's it.
Are there still going to be remakes of older primers?
Yes. We had an argument about that today.
Yeah. We're planning on doing the Carcanos again at some point.
Yeah, I'd actually like to revisit the Carcano. I have very good news. Wait, where is it?
Don't handle it.
Why?
Because then we don't have to list on YouTube that we handled firearms in the video, and we get to monetize it better.
Really?
Yes.
But they're in the background.
I don't know what to tell you on that, man.
Okay, well, I have good news, although it's going to require some repair work. I did it. I got all of the Italian Vetterli Carcanos. Ever since that episode, I have religiously
all in house.
Pursued. By the way, great gun to try to collect that way because it cost me like $200 a pop. So not hard, but on the budget. But like over a year each time. But I did it. I got the Reality version. I got the little short rifle version. I got them all.
So excited by this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna bring back the worst gun we ever made.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could we not dispatch? Wait, no. Do the views for the Patreon early release carry over to the main public release? No, they're separate releases.
No, they're different.
So you guys get to view it, critique it, tell us what we did wrong in there, and then we should fix it for the public upload, barring there's no weird corruption issues. That
His face bitter.
Happens.
She fixed it in we use Premiere, and she fixed the text error on the Reichs revolver, and then recompiled and re-uploaded, and didn't visually check it, and it's still
never
there.
failed that corruption on me before, and I've never seen one fail like that, and now I'm annoyed because I have to do a whole different thing now.
But thankfully, there's not that many of you guys that watch that. Less than half the patrons actually go watch the preview video anyway. So I hate...
It's only a few hundred.
I'm glad you guys do. It's very helpful to have to double check. But thankfully, that number is a drop in the bucket compared to the actual... I know, my stomach gurgle.
Is it hungry?
I don't know. It's just gurgling tonight.
Okay.
We ate at that weird Chinese place we've never tried before. It might just be a problem.
It might be mad.
The
food was different, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, I might have to how now brown cow. But God damn it. So what the hell? You completely distracted me with my own stomach.
I don't know.
It's nice that you guys help us with that. However, there's not enough of you to really distort the algorithm that much. We're off, 500 views or something.
Yeah.
So it's not the worst thing in the world.
Could we not dispatch May and Rob to Finland this year to acquire some excellent
Pastiche,
thank you. My brain couldn't connect that word. Footage while Othais heads to the Royal Armories in Leeds. Kickstarter the trip, possibly?
No.
It's time.
No.
Time.
Mm-mm.
We'd have to skip a episode, and that never ends well for us.
Right. It's never gonna. So the problem is, it would absolutely tank our YouTube algorithm, which is vital for getting more people to see the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then the travel expense and time. The time expense it's not the money; it's the time expense.
Yeah, it's just the time.
Not this year.
No more trips this year.
Nope.
What old gun or guns is the least likely for y'all to cover?
Lots of them.
Yeah, there's a lot that may just have issues with us finding the correct ammo
all
for.
I'm not covering all the single shot shotguns.
All the single shots. All the single shots.
Every time shotguns come up, people are like, "Are you going to cover the Dreadnought? Are you going to cover the what?" Like it's just like one weird commercial shotgun variant that they have.
If you like it, then you better put a round in it.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, it's all the single ladies song.
I know, but what is?
I've made it good.
Keep going.
Lyric.
Tell me.
I don't
go from the
have it anymore
start.
because it just repeats itself over and over again. I'm pretty sure there's only like 2 lines in that entire
All
song.
the
single ladies, and if you like it,
No, you're not saying.
It's all the single ladies.
Yeah, but what are you saying?
All the single shots. All the single shots.
All the single shots. All the single shots.
Yeah.
And then what's the next line?
And it's if you like it, then you better put a ring on it. But then it's if you like it, then you better put a round in it.
Okay. What else?
That's it. Those are the only 2 lines in the entire song. It just keeps repeating itself.
That's not true. There's other lines.
No, that's
in
legit.
That song.
That is the whole song.
Okay. Well, somebody else can fill out the rest for you in the comments.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
What old guns is the least likely for y'all to cover? It just depends.
Bespoke crap. Bespoke. Anything that's custom.
Oh, anything that's just all about the legacy on it. We're kind of just like, it's more about, like, if it's, like, specifically used by one person, it's like, well, we won't necessarily
cover it.
cover it
Like, one person's one gun either.
Yeah, no, that's weird.
Is that helping you? I don't know if I'm answering this question right. I'm going to be honest with you.
Crayon drawings win. Oh, Shanacious asked this question.
Yeah, we had some of the patrons send crayon drawings. We still have those, right?
We still have them, yes.
Okay, let's start releasing this with the Patreon release.
Okay, I'm scared for your stuff.
We were supposed to do a live show. Time. So I think we'll just start releasing.
I like the idea of the live show.
Let's just release them with the Patreon stuff.
Okay.
We'll put it in. We'll read one.
Okay.
Let's start doing the crayon drawings and the readings on the Patreon stuff.
Okay, we can do that. Why did you choose Othais and May as your aliases for the show? Why'd you pick Othais?
I am Othais.
Yeah, why'd you pick Othais?
I am Othais.
You're born as Othais.
I am Othais. If Othais is an alias, should I be admitting it's an alias? Like, why would, if you admit it's your alias, you're inviting a whole thing. I'm clearly Othais.
And I am the month of May.
It's spelled exactly the not way.
Yes. You may get that right.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're good on time.
Okay.
Tips for getting spouses into shooting. Put a gun in their hands.
Yes.
Nothing goes wrong.
Give them ammo.
All of it. Just throw it at them. Oh, they're going to start screaming. Just keep throwing it. Just pile it everywhere. They can't breathe. They can't move. Ammo everywhere. That's how you win.
Ask them if they want to go and then be nice about it?
Yeah. Be sweet. Make a date. No,
wait. Tell them they're not allowed to go at all. Okay. Never allowed to go. And then there's a man to go.
No. Here's the thing. Make a sandwich.
Make a sandwich?
Make a sandwich. It's got to be a planned day for them where you plan something nice in the beginning, then take them shooting in the middle, and then plan something nice for the evening.
This is girl advice for girls.
Yes, girl advice for girls. We like sandwiches. We don't really admit that we like sandwiches, but we freaking love sandwiches. So plan something they like both at the beginning and the end, and then in the middle is the shooting part. That way they have something to look forward to at the end of it. They're not like, shit, that's the end of my day. They're not going to be pissed about that because, they have what this to look forward to at the end that they love.
Yeah, you should definitely try to share in something they're doing first.
Yeah, give them a sandwich.
All right, what are we doing? What do you got?
What's your favorite chicken nugget dipping sauce pairing?
Like McDonald's?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't say chicken McNugget. It says nugget.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's what they mean.
You just
They listed theirs. I think it was one of the sauces from McDonald's.
I already know my favorite nugget dipping sauce. Keep going.
Okay.
Name yours.
I just like ketchup.
Oh, God.
I even
Sue's
like
too. You're
honey
disgusting.
mustard on my chicken nuggets. They're great.
Honey mustard is a sin against man.
But I don't know what any of that Szechuan sauce tasted like, so.
With the meme sauce?
Yeah.
Okay. Polynesian sauce from Chick-fil-A.
That's okay.
You're wrong. It is
Ketchup's
the best
better.
sauce. Polynesian sauce from Chick-fil-A.
Honey
is the
mustard
best
is
sauce.
even better on chicken nuggets.
Holy crap. Polynesian sauce is the best sauce.
Honey mustard, that's the way to go.
But that's if you're eating cheap fast food crap.
Yeah. Now, I'll do something like if it's curly fries from Arby's, I'll do the horseradish sauce. That's pretty good.
Okay, Arby's horseradish sauce is pretty good. Although I haven't had an Arby's in I don't know how long.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how it is where you guys are, but the fast food is not safe anymore.
No, it's not safe. Not here. Okay. What is the first car you ever had and your favorite car you ever had?
Go.
Well, the first, technically, that I had was that Equinox.
No way. You had a RAV4 before
Oh, yeah,
that.
RAV4, right.
That was also your favorite. You
Yeah,
love that RAV4.
that was all right. It was a good size.
Yeah.
Not my favorite, though. The Jeep's probably my favorite.
No, the Wrangler?
No, I would say that white Suburban's probably the favorite because it's so useful. That thing is damn
May
useful.
learned to drive on a Suburban.
Yes.
And then her parents were nice enough to buy her RAV4, but then they were also not nice enough to buy her another car, sort of. It was bad. So they still had the RAV4 under their name. Mm-hmm. And then she was in college, and she went home and like, surprise, you got a new car. And she's like, what? And it was an Equinox, and it was the worst shit box. I hate those cars.
My
Sorry if you have one, but I hate them. I literally had back pain.
Hey, I didn't have to pay for the car, so I will accept
I will say, the RAV...
car.
It's hard because gift horse, you know?
Yes.
The RAV4 was paid off and running fine. Mm-hmm. And you were living in downtown...
To my knowledge, unless something wasn't communicated to
But
me.
you were living in downtown Charleston where you could park that thing.
Yeah, that thing was real tight.
And then the Equinox was the worst parking vehicle.
It was like a sad boat.
I'd rather park the Suburban's easier to see out of. I swear to God. Yeah. So it was just one of those things where you came back with it and I went, what is that? And you're like, I don't know. And I didn't like, why don't you tell them no thank you? And you're like, oh, they already gave it away to the thing. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, this happened within like a few hours.
And you
struggled. Like, oh God.
You struggled with that car for what, like a year and a half?
Unfortunately, it gave me back pain for a little while. So that was...
Oh, it gave you severe back pain.
When we did our drive up to Massachusetts and back, all of us came back with back pain and severe back pain for about a week.
I forgot that. That's the car we took to Springfield.
Yes.
And it was awful.
It was horrible.
That's why we bought the Suburban is because of that car.
Yeah.
And then it started having a valve problem, and it was like under 20,000 miles.
Yep.
And I was like,
it was a
this
fatal
is the
issue
worst
with
car.
that specific design.
Yeah, I hated
and model.
that.
Yeah. What about you?
My first car was a Dodge 600 ES Turbo, which I had bought for like $800 after working at the grocery store. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, it was all right. It was like a 4-banger turbo, but it was wide like a boat. It's like a LeBaron. Mm-hmm. It had a digital display. I legit missed that digital display. That thing was awesome.
That's fair.
My favorite, actually, I still just like, kind of do just like the Suburban still. We have a 2004. Mm-hmm. And
that thing is tight.
It works great. It just big car fits things, get stuff done.
Yeah, that was what I was like enjoying about one of the farming equipment Facebook groups I've been following. Mm-hmm. Someone was like, I'm selling my 93 Silverado. It has just been my workhorse. Yeah. So it had like something small, like 4,000 miles on it. He's like, because I just used it on the property.
Wow.
It was just to pull things. I was like,
nice. Can we go back and get that? I want that.
No, it's old.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. And it wasn't even here. It was like in Alabama.
It was like a two-tone? I love the two-tones.
No, it was like a gray one from 93.
The two-tones are great. So, favorite car? Yeah, probably the Suburban still.
Yeah.
I spent more time on, actually the next question.
We really enjoyed the 99 Suburban, but that...
I enjoyed it, but God, that power steering problem was a nightmare and there's no way to fix it. Mm-hmm. All right, keep going.
Okay, we can do one more and then we'll take a pause. Any motorcycle updates?
No.
We're doing scooters at the moment.
Yeah, scooting. Scooters are.
He sold a few motorcycles so we could do the scooter.
Yeah, I sold.
I told him he had to because there needed to be room and money for them. So
there's also no. I mean, you're like acting like I wouldn't have done it. Where would I put them otherwise?
I just had to make a stake in the ground, and that was my stake.
Yeah, sure, because it was going to be so bad. I was not going to put anything under cover. That's the nightmare.
Yeah.
Because that's a good way to ruin it. But
we have some 80s scooters now.
I still have some of my 80s bikes. No, I kept a couple.
Yeah.
But yeah, my 90s stuff that I was using for actually doing stuff, like I had we had a pair of light touring bikes that I got cheap, and those are gone because there's just no time for that anyway.
Right.
And then I ended up going down to Florida for actually Fudbuster's Matt Larosier wedding, and he had it in the invite, and I'm stupid. It's not his fault, but he's from like Orlando area. And I just assumed that's near where it was going to be. And then I found it was West Palm area. And I went, that's a totally different drive. So then when I had to redo my driving, I realized it created this weird gap because I don't want to drive in high traffic or anything. It created a weird gap where I'm like, I basically have wasted hours in Florida now. And I went...
That's on me because I set the hotel and I looked at it instead of confirming it 100% and like being like, oh no, it's like 20 minutes away. No, it's more like 30 plus.
So I had 80 super bikes that I've had for years, and I was like, well, maybe I'll find some parts or something. So I'm cruising for parts or anything I could pick up on the way, Facebook Marketplace stuff. I see this little Yamaha Riva scooter. Like 125. And I was just like, I'm going to buy that because it was not expensive. And I did. And I shoved it on the back of the truck. And I had so much fun with that stupid little thing down in Florida. I went everywhere on that thing.
I know.
I was getting it up to 63. And I brought it back and I showed it to you, and you said, you're an idiot. And then I said, just drive it. And you drove it and you're like, this is really fun. It turns really tight. And so we went from like, both of us have like, we have 80 supers. And now all we do is
friends have them now too. A lot of them.
Like a contagion.
Now we started a scooter gang.
I think it's been 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't think it's been that long. I think there's like 8 scooters now in the group.
3 of them are specifically Honda Helixes.
Well, hold on. Jay had a Helix before.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, it just and I bought some stuff and traded some stuff really fast. And now like buying and selling and trading and stuff, I've already locked myself a Helix with like almost no money down from where I started.
Yeah, he has a beautiful yellow Helix now.
Yeah, so we've gone full idiot. I mean, we're actually
great.
designing there's so many people have gotten so excited about it around here. We're legitimately, I talked to a design guy I know and had him like consider some designs for I can't say much now, but for like a scoot club. And I think I might actually be founding a scoot club, and I still don't have time for that either. But
it sounds fun.
But I get to go outside and breathe fresh air and not think about this for 5 minutes. So that's what we've been doing. And then I have a beautiful GS 1100 that is just sitting in the shed because I don't want to have to shift to deal with traffic.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's take a pause.
Okay. And not the later GS, the early one. It's like a 1980, like a 2-year bike.
Okay. If you could choose one firearm or hand trap to have as a 1-to-1 Lego set build, which would it be and why?
Maybe choose one firearm or hand trap to have the 1-to-1 Lego set.
For the firearm, I pick a Lewis gun because that pan would look beautiful.
Is it big?
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know if I'd make
move?
the whole thing. I think I might just make the Lewis pan itself because that seems really pretty. I'm worried about your stomach.
I know.
The Chinese, I think, was a mistake.
I don't think we're going back to the restaurant.
No.
Yeah, Lewis gun's a really good choice, actually.
Yeah. Aha.
Because there's a lot of moving parts. No,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about it. And there's like a lot of moving parts. Lewis gun's a good idea. I don't think I could argue with that.
No. Hand trap, probably DuPont.
I don't think you could make any hand trap in Lego.
Think it'd be too thin? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you're not... Well, okay, so it had to be one of the very basic paddle ones.
Yeah, that could do it.
Like the Mossberg Covey trap or something, maybe, vaguely. Yeah. But you're not going to get away with any spring-loaded ones because it's going to snap that thing to pieces the minute you try to actually use it that way.
Yeah.
Lewis gun's brilliant. God, how'd you pull that out of your butt?
Because I had it in my butt. When are you going to stop prejudiciously referring to all old gun show guys and damn Yankees? I can hear your hurt and anger clearly with both, and although your transgressions suffered by such are real, it is not real to lump and judge us all the same. Please. and then I gave a little synopsis of the thing, the more detailed stuff he said before.
Wait, did he put all that in the comment?
The parentheses is what I summarized, but all of that before was his.
Mays added parentheses for context, and this is very important. Did he tell us these facts that are in the parentheses?
He didn't phrase it that way, but he said that he was from the upper U.S., moved to Canada, and now lives in North Carolina. Okay. And he's constantly had to basically feel like he's the new guy.
Right.
And he's treated like the out-of-town Yankee. Like he's had those sensations constantly brought up because of him moving around.
How long have you been in North Carolina?
Yeah, because North Carolina is technically...
First of all, North Carolina ain't that southern anymore. No. Depending on where you are.
It's gotten Yankee land up there.
So if you...
That could be a problem.
If you're still being... Like, if you've been there for like 10 years and you're still being identified as a Yankee quick, or they're kind of... If Southerners are gently reminding you that you're a Yankee, you're probably doing some Yankee stuff.
Yes.
And I'm not even trying to be mean. I know you're like, oh, he's being bigoted. The South has a subtle culture to it. It's a bit like the French or the Japanese. Like,
yes.
Those are two cultures that have a very strong sense of what is us and what is other. And the South has a very strong sense.
And you can tell it just from a gentle accent or a use of a certain word. Like, like that.
No, because it doesn't have to be that bad. Because we have there's a plethora of accents in the South. The Floridians mess it up.
Well, you can pick out certain areas of the South. Like, people can... true South Carolinians can tell that I am from the upper side of South Carolina because of my accent. Even though I barely have one.
No, there's some South Carolinians that know what city she's from. It's come up every once in a while, certain words.
Yes.
And she tries to cloak it, too. That's the other thing.
I worked very hard on eliminating most of my accent.
A lot of Southerners code switch. I code switch. I speak far less with a Southern accent for the show than I do in person.
God, if I get around Jim...
Oh, yeah, our buddy Jim in North Carolina.
Damn him. It breaks every bit of restriction I have on my language.
Suze goes full Ginny. I go full Tallahassee because I have a sort of mid-upper Florida.
Draws it out of me like a sponge. It just soaks it out.
Mine's the most hybridized, though, because Florida Southern is weird. Yours is
bastard.
Yours is definitely
just causes me to relax.
Sub-regional upstate.
Yes.
And then upstate of South Carolina has like 5, and you can identify. You can, if somebody's from Honeypath, you know, like that. Like, and so. But what were we talking about?
We were talking about the gentleman. If you are still living in an area you have been there for a significant amount of time, and you are still being identified as a Yankee.
Language aside. If your friend is not obnoxious, so if you have obnoxious friends that just like to kid you about the same thing over and over again, even if it drives you insane, they're just being obnoxious. I can't control for that. Some people are like that. Right. But if the general vibe is that you keep getting reminded that you're a Yankee, you're probably doing things that you don't realize you're doing that are Yankee-like.
Yes.
Like saying things like, isn't that illegal? Like, that's something Southerners don't say.
No.
Ever. They don't even question it. Mm-hmm.
They'll caution each other on like, hey, are you going to be okay with this? Are you going to be all right?
The version of instead of saying, isn't that illegal, they'd be like, your neighbors from the north? Like, they're looking for snitches. So there's like weird tattling / appeal to authority stuff that is not culturally ingrained. There's definitely some like weird, like, very recently we ran into somebody that didn't seem to understand that verbal counts as a contract in the South.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, well, we didn't have it in paper. And you're like, what is going on? What are you talking about? We agreed.
Yes.
So, you're probably
that will identify you as a Yankee right there.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I know you're saying, like, oh, it's annoying that we get upset about it. You have to understand, we are completely washed out culturally. Mm-hmm. For me to go about my day, especially here in Charleston, I'm lucky if 1 in 50 people is actually Southern, let alone from this region of the South.
I don't think it's quite that bad. I think it's close to like 1 in 20 or 25.
No.
It's still not good.
It's actually, I would say 50 at this point. It's gotten pretty washed out down here. So that's one of the problems is you're having some people trying to hold on to their cultural identity in a wash of new arrivals. And I'm not even talking about immigration. We're talking about just within the borders of the country. There's been a lot of northern retirement into our area. Mm-hmm. And when they do that, it raises the cost of living and it's priced out a lot of our family and things like that. And so we look around and go, what just happened to our town? So there is some resentment there. because somebody chose to live here for the same reasons that they now chose to live here, but they're adding so much population that it can't stay that way, you know? And then you don't know where to flee because unlike them, you haven't designed your life to be portable. These are people that live in apartments and can get around, and you have an investment in the land that's around you, and it's very hard for you to get away from them, but they can get away from you anytime they want.
Right.
And so there is actually, I'm not trying to be mean, but there is actually a reason why we really have to be like, please God, you know?
Right, please stop. Yeah.
So.
Why can I only have one question? Damn it, did I just waste it?
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
You did that.
You did waste it. Yeah, it's on you.
It's
so
because
sorry.
of time.
Yeah, it's just time. We started, again, filming at 4 today. I mean, granted, that was other stuff, but technically we started filming this at 6. It is now 3:30 in the morning.
Also, people will ask me questions until I die. Like they will just with no understanding of my time or anything like that.
I mean, even on the one question thing, we've had numerous people that tried to ask multiple questions, and I had to confirm. No, I didn't delete them. I just confirmed their usernames, and I went, "Oh yeah, you've already asked questions here, and here, buddy." One. So I just picked one.
Yeah, I had a guy that gave me an email the other day, and I'm not saying I hate you, but you're playing to the terms of the contract, not to the heart of the contract. Mm-hmm. If you go to our contact form, because I get inundated with questions. And on our contact form that says, "Hey, I'm one man. You're going to need to ask on a reputable. I don't know if I say the word reputable. But you're going to need to ask on a forum of this type to see if anybody knows what you're asking before you ask me. Mm-hmm. Because I can't be the guy. And there's whole forums dedicated to this. And I think it even says like go to Gunboards or Milsurp or something like that. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it's like just this week, and it stood out to me. Somebody sent me an email, and it's the first time I've seen this, because normally I get the questions, and they don't even bother putting the link, because they didn't read the thing, and they don't care.
Right.
This guy read the thing, and he conformed to the letter of it, to the point that I'm like, okay, now I'm mad. Because he went and posted, I guess, his questions, or what he wanted to know about his firearms, to Reddit, which is like zero usable information on that platform for firearms. Reddit absolutely targeted and ran out people who are firearms enthusiasts. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get good data on Reddit for firearms. I know there's a firearms community. I used to participate in it. I left. I was run off the platform. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's not the place to go.
Right.
But everything is a link to Reddit. And I want to say it was like 6 or 7. I don't know. It was this list of different firearms wanting essentially like a book report on each one from me. Mm-hmm. And look, I sent a link where I asked in the place where nobody will give me an answer anyway. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, no. Like, you're just, this is ridiculous.
All right, let's get back to the questions though.
Okay.
Does Othnius find that using ballistol as a beard oil bring the ladies to his yard? I personally like the smell of ballistol, but I wish they would do a car scent. You know, the ballast, like a hanging ballistol can that smells like ballistol. They hang for the car.
That's fair.
I want that.
I feel like I would choke. I'm not that good at the I don't really like the ballistol scent. Some people do, some people don't.
I like it.
I just like how useful it is.
That's fair.
And then for the beard oil, I don't use a beard oil normally. Almost every time you guys have seen me, I don't have one. On rare occasion, it gets kind of like it's so humid here, but sometimes not as much. Mm-hmm. Or something's weird with the atmosphere. I don't know why, but I'll start like,
yeah,
especially the mustache hairs.
Uh-huh.
So if I have to do that, I'll take a little bit of water. Like I'll do a water dilution of argan oil, and I'll like do that and just sort of like get it in there a little bit, and then wipe it back off with a towel, and that's what I do.
He's got pretty all right hair. The bastard doesn't have to do much. Let's see here. Best Southern food that a Yankee might not have tried. Hash is a pretty good one.
Like a hash and rice hash?
Yeah, hash and rice
ground
hash.
pork?
Like actual Southern hash and rice, because I realized that's the wet kind. So if you look up hash recipes, there's a dry kind that's chunky, and there's a wet kind that's blended together.
A lot of people, when they hear hash,
they're
thinking about like a potato, like a finely diced potato with some ground pork or whatever. And then there's a Southern hash that's hash and rice that's actually like a pulled pork ground up with barbecue sauce thrown over rice.
Yeah. With some onion.
I didn't realize this. I don't know why. I grew up not knowing that Brunswick stew was a Southern thing.
Yeah.
And then when I went to look it up for something for a recipe, it was like, it's a Southern dish. And I went, really? I never thought that
Brunswick stew is delicious.
I just grew up with it. And then
I make a mean Brunswick stew.
Yeah. So the Brunswick stew is a very hard one because if you buy a can, it's going to be gross.
No.
Most restaurants can't make it. Mm-mm. We have a place called Swig and Swine here that does excellent pulled pork. They do excellent pork belly and stuff like that. Their Brunswick stew is not that good.
No.
And
it actually inspired me to do a good one, which I know I do a great
She
one.
goes and buys their pork.
I do. I buy their
because
pork.
she doesn't have a smoker.
I need a smoker.
So their smoked pork's great. So she'll buy their pork
I'm scared,
and make a
though.
better Brunswick stew than they can make.
If I buy a smoker, then I'm not gonna have a reason to go places for some meats because I'll want to get really good at it, and hopefully I would.
I've never had good grits out of the South, and I've never had I've never had good grits out of the South, and I can never get good grits at any chain restaurant in the South. Mm-hmm. And then even some of the local restaurants don't have good grits. Grits is a very narrow success margin, and most people just put up with garbage, and I don't know why. Weirdly, Swig does have good grits most of the time. Once or twice it's been not that great, but
they do good grits.
What else are we thinking about? Usually most people aren't that big into like organ meat, especially like fried organ meat. But I'll eat fried liver here. I'll eat fried liver like crazy, and when it's done right,
I'm a liver pate person personally, but whatever.
Fried liver done right is oh my god, but it has to be done right, which is very hard to get right. Okra is a big one that doesn't get eaten out of the South very often.
Fried okra.
Yeah, the trick is people get all proud of how big their okra is.
No, the bigger it is, the worse it is.
It's hard. Small, and too small is too small. But there's a happy point. You'll find it.
Yep. And I'm sorry, but if you're growing okra, if you leave it for a few hours, you can come back and it's too far gone.
Pickled okra
grows fast.
Yeah, pickled okra is good. I'm trying to think. There's
that's probably good. Look, we should keep doing with the questions.
I was gonna say there's probably a bunch of stuff that I don't know is Southern, just like the Brunswick stew thing. I probably don't realize it's Southern. I've just been around it my whole life. Mm-hmm. So, and then also I was in Florida, so I have a lot of exposure to Hispanic foods. Mm-hmm. So,
you're now both pro wrestlers. What's your gimmicks? Pro wrestler gimmick.
So first of all, while you're thinking about that, there's a wonderful wrestling movie. Mm-hmm. It's Korean.
Okay.
It's called The Foul King. Did I show you The Foul King?
No.
It was a guy who was like a salaryman kind of thing, although I guess it's more Japanese. But he's getting bullied at work by his boss, like literally putting him in a headlock, talking about survival of the strongest. Mm-hmm. So he decides he was like obsessed with this like pro wrestling thing, and he wants to be the cheat. He wants to be the bad guy. Mm-hmm. And he's like this lanky little dude. He wants to use like, it's supposed to be a fake fork, but there's a comedy, so a real fork gets in there at some point. But he wants to be a wrestling cheat. And that is a really good movie. If you can ever find it. Foul King is a really funny Korean movie. But what are you looking for? You're looking for a gimmick?
I was looking for pro wrestler names to see if there's any sort of gimmick I could kind of come up with on it.
I want to be...
Maelstrom? No.
Are you looking for a name?
I was trying to figure out a good name.
Oh, you're going to name yourself the Maelstrom?
Maybe.
That's not... I mean, okay, good points for a name, but what's your gimmick?
I don't know. There's got to be a gimmick with the name, though. The name has to match with the gimmick is the problem.
I think that I should show up on a little tiny motorized bicycle like those bears in the circus.
Maybe if I'm What? I just was not paying attention.
That's my entry.
I heard bears in the circus.
Yeah, the circus bears on the little bicycles.
Yeah, but what's your name?
I don't know. I don't have a name.
See, if I'm Maelstrom, a powerful
Look, you got a good name, but no gimmick. My gimmick's great.
I could have dolphins. I could come in on a pack of dolphins because I am a whirlpool in the sea.
How are you going to come with a pack of dolphins into the theater?
Yeah, I'm going to figure it out. I'll rent them out. You can rent dolphins.
It's a dying...
I'm pretty sure
you're going to show up on a dying dolphin that can't be there because it's not in the water.
There's water.
There's not water in the stage.
Enough water.
What do they call? Actually, is it an arena? What do they call that?
I think it's an arena stage.
Well, the stage is the stage, but is it an arena?
But I'm pretty sure I can come in with a pack of dolphins. I can have them wheel in. Oh, I'm on my dolphins, right? But they have like a tank that they wheel me on top of. I'm on top of the dolphins while the dolphins are in the water tank.
I do not want to be in an outfit that scanty with dolphins because dolphins are the rapists of the sea.
Yeah, they are the rapists of the sea.
Yeah.
But I'm the Maelstrom. They can't mess with me. They'll die in a whirlpool of my hurt.
I don't like this.
A whirlpool of my hurt. You get that?
What if instead of that you just make dolphin sounds the whole time?
Well, no, Maelstroms aren't about the dolphins. They're about the whirlpools.
You communicate by clicking. And then I ride my little bicycle around.
I came up with a really good gimmick. And then I do this really good name match.
I do this thing where I'm pedaling.
He's half-assing it.
Okay, you ready for my move?
Okay.
I'm pedaling my little bicycle, right? Uh-huh. And I tuck and roll so that I roll with the bicycle. And then as I roll, I like send it. I just like come out of the roll and just like beat you over the head with a bicycle.
Okay. My dolphins will rape you in the process. Just so you know.
I'm not showing them. I'm not showing no orifice that.
I don't gotta do shit. My dolphins handle my biz.
You didn't even hear me, did you? Huh? I said I'm not showing any orifice that porpoise.
Oh man, we're ready to throw down. All right, let's take a pause with the camera.
Okay, so like the big guy shows up, and then I just shoot him.
What?
Yeah, that's my wrestling move. I just shoot him and then I win.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, you're drowning my whirlpool, so I don't know what you're going to do about that.
Shoot your dolphins.
You shoot the dolphins all you want. It won't matter. You're trapped in the whirlpool, son.
Okay.
Whirlpool will hurt.
It makes sense for sure. Yeah. Where does it come from?
From these.
I like the idea that you just show up like a stuffed dolphin and you throw a bucket of water at me. And I'm just trying not to fall off a bicycle.
I'll just start shouting whirlpool.
Okay.
All right. What are y'all's favorite lunch meats?
What?
What are y'all's favorite lunch meats? I thought bologna was you.
Are we talking about like sliced deli meat?
You do just like sliced ham. You kind of just, you do like thin sliced ham.
I'm definitely a ham guy for the most part. It depends, but a sandwich has to be made of layers of things. So.
But if you had to pick one meat.
Well, it's got to be bologna.
Yeah, I think.
Because you can't, if I have to eat, if you're telling me, look, I'm going to give you bread and one piece of meat, then I'm going to want this is another southern thing, like a thick cut fried bologna, like a ½ inch of fried bologna. Mm-hmm. Because it's the only thing that's going to be satisfying. If you give me a dry sandwich, just ham layered up and nothing else, no matter how good it is, I'm just going to be like, blah, 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 blah. But if I can get like a ham and roast beef blended with a little horseradish sauce.
Roast beef. I could just do some roast beef.
Roast beef with horseradish is your thing. And some Swiss.
Thing, yeah. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
USC or Clemson? Technically, my family was raised USC.
What, really?
Yeah. And I was told if I ever married a Clemson person that I would be disowned.
Well, it's a good thing that I don't care about either. I've never been a sports fan, really. I like watching.
Can't hang out with the Clemsons.
I like watching sumo, though. Sumo's fun to watch.
Sumo is fun to watch.
And that's not even like a weeb
Although I'm personally not a sports
football
football person, but sumo's fun.
They just slap each other.
Yeah. They're really intense.
Kevin did sumo for a while.
Yeah. I haven't really been keeping up with the sumo wrestling matches recently. However, that being said, that guy from Georgia, he kicks some ass. Like
I haven't really watched since ZK Bono's day. We don't have cable.
Yeah.
Does cable have sumo?
I don't know. That'd be kind of nice.
I don't really.
Can I just get a sumo channel? I just want sumo.
I'm so far removed from sports because I have a hard time watching TV shows and movies. So then watching sports is like a step down from even that because it's not like. I don't know how to explain it. It's the TV shows and movies are geared to hold your attention. They're designed to keep you engaged. And I can't even keep up with that.
Hey, what's your favorite kind of cheese? Depends, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
If you could only have one cheese.
My go-to? Well, no. Because if I can only have one kind of cheese, it's got to be very utilitarian.
Fair.
It's got to be like either like a Swiss or a cheddar or something like that. Because it's very, it's got to just work for a lot of things.
But if I had to pick my favorite, I'd probably go with provolone. I really like nice provolone.
Well, that would also be a universally applicable cheese. Yeah. But do you get excited every time there's provolone?
I do. I actually do. I genuinely get excited with provolone.
What was the one we had the other day that was...
Cojita?
No, Cojita's fine, but I'm not that worried about it.
Velveeta?
Stop! It's not... Thing. It was a European something or other. I can't remember now. Oh, I completely forgot. I literally had a bite. Somebody gave me something. I'd never had it before. And I can't remember the name of it. I was like, wow, that's really good. But it was a soft cheese like a brie.
Oh, okay. I like brie a lot.
I do like brie a lot. I
like brie with other stuff with honey.
Ooh. If I'm eating just the cheese with nothing with it, or maybe just some nuts or something, I don't know. I do like soft cheeses. I'm more of a soft cheese like a brie or a...
I can go for a nice aged cheddar, though. Those are good, yeah.
I'm not a cheddar eater.
I didn't used to
you
be.
And Suze,
I got into the
It's probably
Suze
cheddar. That got you.
Yeah, she did.
Suze is a cheddar fiend.
Oh, and some strawberries? Damn.
I legitimately don't like cheddar. Me and cheddar are not friends.
I want to do another cheese board.
It's chalky.
Well, you're just wrong. Anyway. Best Godzilla movie. All of them with Gamera in it because Gamera is
he's not in any Godzilla movie. He's literally not in any Godzilla movie.
I'm sorry. Gamera movies are all the best. Godzilla is not. Sorry.
Better.
Gamera's better.
Because he goes in a circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gamera.
Suck it. Turtles are cool.
It's just fire ants.
Take it. Eat it, Godzilla man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You picked the wrong turtle.
Yeah, get out.
He wanted a turtle. Would you rather have a fight with an orangutan at a random moment once a year, or have to fight a chicken every time you got in your car?
Oh, easily chicken. That's not even dangerous. It's just annoying.
Yeah, I can eat that chicken every time.
You aren't aware of like me trying to get around the dogs when I have to pee. Like the chicken every time. I could kill so many chickens.
Yeah,
I mean, I just end up with a free chicken dinner every day.
Exactly. Free, like every day I'd have chicken. It'd be great.
Yeah, I do not want to fight an orangutan.
No, that'll screw both of
Orangutans
us
are
up.
pretty violent though. They seem like the most chill of the apes.
No, they're probably still pretty muscly though.
They always, I mean, I'm sure they're, oh yeah, they're strong. Mm-hmm. But they do seem more chill.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong though.
But still, we would
Chimps
have
are
to
terrifying.
fight.
I do
so
not.
fight.
They have all these movies with chimps. I don't ever want to be in the same room.
I'm
with
good.
chimps.
I'll mess up a chicken before I touch an orangutan.
People get their faces eaten by chimps. I don't
Yeah,
want
no,
that.
that's that. Tell us briefly about young man Matthias. Growing up, what were your interests or fun doings?
I mean, I was autistic.
You were.
Like really autistic.
Oh yeah, you were hella spectrum boy.
May doesn't like talking about her childhood, so I don't know we're gonna get much out of that.
Well, I mean, to be fair, my interests were just doing stuff. So, like, I just wanted to make sure I kept busy. So I was a part of a ton of clubs. I did several sports. I just enjoyed trying and doing new things, which has translated well to my adulthood.
May tried to stay out of the house, like
Yeah,
just
pretty
anything
much.
to not be at home.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure you guys are surprised that I was like a hyper-focused autist that had social, I don't know that I had social anxiety. It's actually very friendly. Mm-hmm. But I had a very difficult time
Adjusting.
Socializing? I don't know how to explain it. I was very...
But what were your interests and fun doings? That's the question here.
Spreadsheets. I mean, I was always like a cataloger and collector. And I was... Actually, I've had to have this talk with people as an adult.
What, your interests and fun doings? Are you getting off on a tangent?
I'm talking about my fun doings.
Okay.
Then. So my fun doings when I was a child were weird, collecting, obsessive things, right? So to the point that I did not interact well with other people for a long time. And so nowadays I would have been highly medicated, but back then they were just like, stop being a weirdo. And I got slapped around a bit, and I got told if you don't stop being a weirdo, no one's gonna be able to get along. Like, not my parents. My parents didn't slap me around. My peers slapped me around, and my parents said, "Hey, it sucks, but you got to get with it because you can't be protected forever." And they didn't offer medication for it, so
You just had to deal with the harsh reality.
yeah. So I just went, "Wow, I got to start being normal." And then I really tried hard to be normal, and then I kind of went over. So by the time I was in college, I was really popular because I really figured out how to talk to people. Mm-hmm. And then I had to dial it back to be more normal. And now I'm a very social, personal guy. I really like to, I do not, I mean,
It sounds weird prospectively to hear from the outside.
It does, but it was one of those things, I was not in sync with other people. And then I learned to be in sync with other people. It was a very weird transitional period. And then now, I mean, you can tell me, but I seem to be able to be patient and listen to people and understand and empathize and sympathize.
Yeah, you're like 85% normal.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So
that's better than my percent.
It's actually why I hesitate to be like, yeah, just go straight for the medication, because I managed to pull through whatever the hell that was. Mm-hmm. So, but imagine just the weirdest kid in class, and that was probably me.
Yeah. If you could possess the entire toy line associated with Dino Riders, G1 Transformers, or 85-86 run of G.I. Joe, which would you choose and why?
They're all wrong.
They're all wrong?
They're all wrong.
Are you sure you want to go into what's the correct one?
Okay, first of
It's
all,
not one you currently collect, is it?
Dino Riders is legit. Mm-hmm. G1 Transformers too mainstream. Mm-hmm. G.I. Joe way too mainstream. Mm-hmm. So I'll give you Dino Riders. But you're nowhere near. We just had this conversation about my autistic childhood, right? No. We need defunct things. First of all, I already have, a complete set of Megaforce, which was die-cast Micro Machine alternatives. I haven't even looked at them in 7 years. They're in the attic and they're never leaving. Those are mine. It took me so long to get those.
Where are they in the attic?
What?
Where are they in the attic?
In the bucket that's labeled Megaforce.
Is there a bucket actually labeled Megaforce? Or is
those are all together. There's a scramble of other crap up there, but those are together. Mm-hmm. The other thing that's all together is a fairly complete collection of Mask, which was cool. Mm-hmm. Because those were Transformer cars with little guys inside. Mm-hmm.
So many buckets.
And I always wanted to have a complete collection of, oh crap, I've forgotten the name.
Oh, must not be that good then.
Well, because I didn't get anywhere near done with it. It was, what was it, Sky? Oh crap, I'm confusing Ring Raiders and something else. I want to say Sky Raiders, but I'm not sure that's what it's called. But it was the one where it was honestly one of the most terrifying children's toys because it was these guys that rode around on string and rope and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And it was like selling garrotes to children. I mean, it's the most dangerous toy line because it's just hand children a bunch of really strong string. And good luck, everybody. Like, it was an absolute mess of a toy line, which is why I kind of love it. But
I just collected a few Pokemon cards at one point. At one point, I also did Beanie Babies, but then I got really disgusted by the amount of money and time that went into the collections, so I stopped.
Oh, no.
I never did that again.
I am an encyclopedia of defunct 80s toy lines because as a kid I was obsessed with that stuff, and then now it means nothing to me, except I still kind of like my Mega Force because it was cool. And I actually won that one. I
do collect a series of toys for you currently as presents.
Yeah,
however, I'm not saying what they are because I don't want anyone to be scalping these. These are mine.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So May obsessively collects an obscure 80s toy line.
For him.
Yeah, actually, a lot of them are Japanese only, too.
Yes.
But it was something that I started collecting out of the flea market because it existed not before I was born, but before I came online to collect these things. Mm-hmm. And I grab a couple at the flea market whenever I could find them. And then as an adult with the internet, I suddenly found out there's like almost 100 of these things. Mm-hmm. And I had 12. And I went, oh, God. It was
like one day, a whole 8 hours, and I set up searches for each of the little variants.
Even through college, it was like the one thing that hung on. Everything else got put away. They're kids' toys, right? Mm-hmm. But or sold off, or nephews got into it, or who knows, whatever. Everything's scattered, you know what I mean? But these little guys, I kept going after.
I could not buy one for the next 6 years.
Oh,
I'm already set.
Are you loaded for birthdays and Christmases?
Loaded. But to be fair, I only buy when it's a good deal, and I've just managed to stockpile them over the years.
Yeah, well, so as an adult, even in college, I would like check flea markets and stuff whenever I happened to be out and just keep an eye out for one. And then eventually, it got to the point where I was so busy, we were doing something, we were moving something around, cleaning up, and you're like, what are those? And I said, oh, it's this thing I never finished. Mm-hmm. And then it got me buying a couple, and then you got curious about it, and you're like, I'm going to kind of buy you one as a gift, but I don't know what you have. Is there a spreadsheet or something? Mm-hmm. So I made a spreadsheet, and then I was like, these are the Japanese exclusive ones, so that's like a whole thing. Mm-hmm. And you went, well, I'm going to go after those then. You can go chase the normal ones. Mm-hmm. And I went, what, really? And so that became a thing that I get once a year from May as one of the little Japanese exclusives, and it's actually turned out to be the best present I've ever had in my life. Not because you would think like the best present in your life wouldn't be, I'm going to make a spreadsheet of things and you buy me the things off the spreadsheet. That seems very not personal in some ways. Mm-hmm. But May has become so obsessed because of the scarcity and the cost that can be associated with this if you're not careful. Yep. And so May has done what I have ended up doing my whole life.
They can make replicas and they can look pretty close, but if you look at them very carefully, you know it's a mold.
Do you hear it?
Yeah.
Do you hear it? Mm-hmm. I have actually infected her with the collector's bug.
But not for me.
But she doesn't want to own them. No. She's just doing it to be nice to me.
Yeah.
But
that's really
it is the first time I've ever transformed a non-collector human being into a collector human being by accident.
Yeah.
But she will have whole conversations with me about how she got one of them when she gives it to me. Mm-hmm. And having a little piece of plastic.
Every single one has a story.
Having a little piece of plastic is nice. They're sitting on my desk right now. But the shared experience of you just understanding, because ever since then you've actually understood when I talk about this crap, you know? And it's just like, it's so pleasant.
Mm-hmm. The most recent one I gave him, oh God, I went missing in the mail. I was so pissed. And I was contacting the seller being like, what happened? They're like, oh, there was a mix up. We put the wrong zip code. We're getting it back. And I was like, you better fucking get it back. Not that I said that, but you know what I mean. And then finally got it back. And then 2 weeks later, I got it in the mail, luckily. And they were like, oh, there's a whole thing.
Do you hear the energy?
So upset.
All right, you want me to read another question?
Yeah, okay, let's do another question. Since Susie was promoted to ammunition, who has Matthias Wrangler duties?
Nobody, I'm on my own.
Me. It's just always
me. No.
No?
When do you wrangle me?
I do my best. Let's take a pause for the cameras.
We filled up the SD card. We had to change
it. Yeah, had to change that out.
It's now 4 a.m.
Okay. It's our 24th take. They're 20 minutes each. Just about. Should be fun.
Yeah.
Peanut butter. Creamy or chunky?
Usually creamy.
Usually, I don't do chunky.
Creamy
is what I want.
I can do creamy with certain things, or chunky rather, with like, why did my brain freeze on the name
Celery?
of it? Thank you.
I don't know why I thought celery, because that's a creamy one.
No, it's definitely not. I mean, you can do it. First of all, it's not going to be any worse or better, I think. It just depends. There's certain things that you could do chunky with, but generally creamy. Because you're just using it to blend with something else.
Yeah. Creamy is the American cheese, essentially. It's usable on a lot of stuff.
You're not helping.
What was the better hit from the beats? Mo Allowance, Killer Tofu, or Shout Your Lungs Out?
I legitimately can't remember the words to shout your lungs out.
Either. Killer Tofu is the one
I can remember the line "shout your lungs out." I can remember that. I can remember kind of the beat a little bit. I can remember. I know Killer Tofu in and out, so it's got to be the better song, or at least it stuck with me longer. Mo Allowance, I do remember. It's like, I need more allowance, Yoda lady. I need more allowance, Yoda lady. You. But then it's like, I need to buy some CDs. I need to buy something. Like, there's a whole list.
I think I'm tired. I'm seeing weird black spots in the corners of my eyes.
No, that's fine. That's normal.
Okay.
Just a detached retina. But that's, so it's got to be Killer Tofu.
Yeah.
Because I know Killer Tofu. Are you Killer Tofu? I mean, ooh, Killer Tofu. And then, but I know all of it because it's, oh God, it's way too late at night now. All of a sudden I'm freezing on it.
Yeah.
No, thank you. When you're feeling kind of cruddy, just stick right by your buddy and don't eat too much fried food.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Like, I can remember the insets for that.
All right. Last question. This is not the last thing, but it is the last question. This gentleman bought the Carolina crack sauce that I recommended from Hampton Acres, which Hampton Acres we found had a really good mustard sauce, the Carolina mustard sauce that he likes. And then it has a crack sauce that I love. Well, it tastes good on his hash, his non-Carolinian palate, to his non-Carolina palate. I made it sound like it might be great. However, he suspects his hash is lacking. Please give us May's full hash recipe. Now, I'm not sure if you tried the southern hash, which is the wet hash that we talked about before, or if you did
potatoes in it. There's something wrong.
Yeah, if you did the northern hash where there's big chunks of stuff in it, yeah, it comes out dry and it's not very good. But specifically, I don't remember the portions. However, what I do know is that I use the Carolina crack sauce. I'll use Swig and Swine's pulled pork that they smoke.
Yeah, good proper.
And I will dice it up real fine.
It's very important on a southern hash to have a moist pork. So usually you'd pull it from a whole hog.
Yes.
A crock pot could do it, but boy.
Right.
And then a smoked pork is probably, it's like whole hog, a good smoked pork that's still moist. And a lot of people do not get that right. And then maybe you could get away with some crock pot work.
Right, maybe. Yeah. I haven't tried it, but that
Canned
could work.
is never going to work.
However, that with the crack sauce, and I don't really know the ratio, that's your call for the wetness of it, I guess. And then essentially I'll just get a lot of a yellow onion and dice it up really, 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 really fine. And I'll cook that first, obviously, and get it to where it's translucent. And then I'll mix it together with the pork and the sauce. And pretty much from there, it's just your own little taste buds to it. There's not much else to it.
Are you throwing any like Worcestershire or any weird stuff?
I weirdly found that just the crack sauce on its own was pretty good. I might do a dash of the Worcestershire sauce, but typically I kind of keep it pretty close to just that.
Okay.
Pretty base. I don't really do much else. Because I was doing a whole crazy bit with it the first time, and I realized, oh, maybe I don't need to do this. It feels off in flavor. So I tried just original with the sauce mostly.
Now, you are considering a new hash recipe.
Yes, I am considering it.
Because we encountered something else.
That was pretty good. It was a damn good hash.
Yeah, I don't know.
Better than mine currently.
Yeah, we encountered a hash in the wild. There's a restaurant that opened up here called Palmyra, and they had a good hash.
Very good hash. The beans suck.
Yeah, the beans suck.
The hash, great.
The barbecue is overall pretty good, but God, is it way too expensive for what it is.
Yes.
I did not.
Way too expensive. Not worth it.
It was like $70
Just get a container of the hash to try.
But yeah, the hash, I think if we could clone that out, that'd be good.
2 people for $70. That's just.
I don't. It was not
when
like.
You're eating out of styrofoam containers.
You'd think I'd have like. I don't have styrofoam containers, but they have the plastic forks and knives.
Still.
I was paying $70 for 2 people. I don't want to drink out of a plastic cup. And I don't want to have a plastic knife and fork. That's weird. Anyway. Sorry, this is my gripe.
Okay. The last 3 are actually just. They were statements. Someone wants to show the dogs.
They're too big to pick up.
Yeah. They're also sleeping right now.
Also, one of them was on the way out.
One of them is Googleable. If you look for dog with grenade, and it's a Bernese Mountain Dog.
Dog with grenade. I'm going to check.
Let's see.
Oh, there's been some new images. Let's see.
All right. And he'd be the
Well, there's like way more dogs with grenades now.
Yeah. He'd be the Bernese Mountain Dog with a grenade in his mouth. The German grenade, stick grenade specifically.
I think he fell off the algorithm.
Oh, no, he did.
He used to be the first result.
Search Bernese Mountain Dog with grenade.
Okay. Bernie. I'm just going to add Bernie's on the end. If I can get the enter button there.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You put Bernese, and he's the first one that shows
That's
up.
because Reddit had them all lined up for a while.
Yeah, but that's him. That's him with the grenade. That's
look, now he's on our Bernie's Mountain Dogs. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he got put on there a while back.
Anyway, yeah, one of them's there.
Yeah, and then Tula's in Newfoundland.
Tula's been in the, she was in one of the t-shirt promo things.
Yes, she is. So if you look up the old t-shirt promo videos, she was like the old ones.
We have outtakes with that.
Yeah, the show wasn't as filled in the background. So take a look for that, and she's there. She has a beard on.
She wears a bib now.
Yeah. Well, that's because they get drooly in their old age.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Whenever you're back in Texas, I feel like you guys should try and go on the Unsubscribe podcast. You guys would do awesome on there. And he said that we could talk a lot about anime, pretty much. I never heard that podcast. Unsubscribe.
Wait, he said that we could talk about anime?
On the Unsubscribe podcast.
Is he on the Unsubscribe podcast?
No, he didn't say he was on it. He just said when we're back in Texas, he may be on it, but I never heard the podcast.
What's the Unsubscribe podcast? I don't know what this is.
No clue.
Unsubscribe. Oh, let's see. Eli Double Tap, Brandon Herrera, Donut Operator, and the Fat Electrician.
Oh, okay. I never heard of it.
No, I didn't. I guess I'll look into it.
I mean, to be fair, if you get Brandon with some White Claws.
I went on some podcast with some lady, and as a friend recommended me, and I went on it. And she clearly did not know who I was and had never seen an episode of Primer whatsoever and was struggling to understand what we were talking about. It was pretty wild.
That was funny.
I can't remember the name of the show now.
Yeah, no. That was funny.
Just went, okay. It was like a friend hooked me up and I was trying to do him the favor. And I was just like, it was weird, bro. I don't think she'd ever seen like any of the show.
It's also weird if you have somebody on your podcast and you don't look them up before they are on your podcast.
Yeah, because she's trying to talk about like Cold War stuff, and I went, "Well, no, we're in World War One," and she's like,
that was back when we were strictly.
Oh yeah,
World
back
War
with Hitler or whatever. And you're like, what? I mean, not that bad, but it was. I clearly was she was not aware of many things about World War One.
Yeah, that's fair. And the last one, no question this year. Just keep up the great work and outstanding content, please.
I mean, I'll try.
I'm gonna try real hard.
We're actually trying to make it better.
Trying very hard right now. It's 4:11 a.m. So we started at 6 p.m. We're finishing at 4:11 a.m. Guys, 10 hours. 10 hours.
What's your question for the audience then?
What was my question for the audience? I already asked you a question.
No, you gotta ask the audience a question that they answer.
Oh my god. So do you have one in mind? Because we should be able to get one. We each get one.
Yeah.
Don't do one of the bullshit ones where someone's like...
If I tell you a question and you choose it, then I'm getting two questions. You've got to come up with your own question.
I'll come up with my own question. I just don't know off the top of my head.
This is really fascinating video.
So tired. It's hard to think of a good question I'm so tired.
Spitball me some. They're not her pick. These aren't her pick. Spitball me.
What if it's something like their favorite? What about their favorite their favorite 80s or 90s animes?
Oh, you're looking for obscure 80s
Yeah,
and 90s
I would
animes?
like some interesting obscure animes. Do you think that would be a good question? Like, what were some that you might recommend?
Yeah, but you guys are going to say, they're going to say some mainstream crap. You know that, right?
Well, I'm thinking obscure, not mainstream. So not like Transformers crap.
Okay, just so you guys know, before you answer this question, May's current favorite thing that we just watched recently-ish, and we don't get to watch a lot of TV, is Shonen Bakusozoku.
Yes, that was excellent.
Which I think most people have not seen. That is
fantastic.
Sort of almost like a found footage thing at this point.
Yes.
But somebody did a Laserdisc rip on it, and we got a hold of it. And
right.
By completely legal means.
Yes.
And Shonen Bakusozoku was the last one.
So that obscure. of a reference. Like, go. Give me some interesting, obscure old ones. We watched The Laughing Salesman, the original one, not the one that you can find on YouTube right now, the new one. That one's not the same.
Not as good, no.
No, but the old one, it's like...
He plays more fair in the new one. Oh,
God, he transformed people into horrible things for not equal amounts of terrible that they did.
Excuse me, apparently the greatest sin in life is being a weak man.
Yeah,
which my mother would agree with.
You got turned into an armchair for life. Like, no forgiveness on that.
Actually, now that I think about it, why are you so surprised? Because you don't really favor weak men either.
Yeah, but I don't go around going, oh, ho, 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 ho.
That's pretty good, actually. That was a good one. I couldn't do that well. You practiced it.
Yeah. What's your question? What's your question? See? Oh, it's so easy. Oh, I'm Matthias. Look at me. Now I'm looking at you.
All right. Now that you've done that,
okay.
Welcome to my punishment for you.
So tired.
What was May's hottest outfit?
Oh, I hate you so flipping much right now. I hate you. Please don't do that one.
Give me the episode number, boys. And was it the outdoor footage or the indoor footage?
Yeah, I don't really wear very flattering outfits. I wear useful outfits usually. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, it was hot. It was Charleston summer. I wore tank tops because that was what I was already wearing that day.
Oh yeah, people were like, "You're doing it on purpose."
No, I'm just lazy,
I am.
You bastards.
I don't want to be too hot.
I went out there. It was hot. We were already out that day, and you're like, "Oh, let's go film some stuff." Well, okay, I'm already prepared for hot weather. I got burned every time I went out there because I was stupid and forgot to put on suntan lotion. And that's my TED Talk.
Well, I picked my question well. I'm winning.
I hate you so much. You're going to get some...
See, you're going to get a bunch of comments of useless animes.
I just want some
and
weird,
then I'm going to get you a bunch of comments about your outfit.
Because I'm actually hunting for them. If you have any to recommend, please. Just nothing mainstream.
The problem is she's riding the high. Shonen Bakusozoku was an OVA, essentially. I don't know if it was technically classified as one, but it was. And
I'm up playing it by accident, and that it wasn't amazing. It was just...
good.
It was good, and it hit the right notes, and it was funny in a dumb way.
Also, you like motorcycles, let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it had 80s
like
motorcycle
all that
vibe.
hand-drawn anime stuff from back then, so good for the graphics, too.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah.
Is that it?
I hate you so much right now. Like, a lot.
All right, well, thank you, everybody, who submitted questions, because the people who submitted questions are paying for the show. If you're mad that you didn't get to submit a question, then I'm really sorry, but, like, we I don't like to be the guy that's like, oh, you should pay for the show. But once a year, you should pay for the show.
That's true. And
because that's how it gets made. It literally doesn't exist without these guys, and we give it away for free. Yep. So
we give the show away for free.
We're not hiding anything behind a paywall other than like the
guys
the podcasty,
that are
talky bit.
Being the patrons and supporting this, they just want this show to keep going because they know we're insane and no normal people would ever do what we are doing for the amount of money we make. So they are trying to make sure that we keep doing this for as long as we can. And we want to too. So if you want to encourage the insanity, please consider subscribing or setting up our Patreon player account. I can't speak words.
It takes a very special person to want very few guns in very fine detail. Mm-hmm. You know, we're kind of like the universe of Forgotten Weapons where, you know, it's all the guns, but in, you know, rapid, you know, 10, 20 minutes max. Yeah. And we're going, no, we're going to animate that thing and we're going to shoot it and we're going to, like, the whole
3D
process.
animation, we've got patent researchers, we shoot it.
Yeah.
We're stupid.
We go hard like idiots.
But to be fair, that's just what we do in life. That's just who you and I both have always been.
Yeah, with my CVT transmission. Wait, is transmission the T in that? Because that's like a thing, ATM machine?
Yeah, it's ATM machine, I think.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, all right, bye everybody.
Thank you everyone for the support. Night.